Chapter 2696 Secret Technique that increases combat power in the sky, only a Ma. S of black light and a Ma. S of purple light could be seen, bombarding and colliding with each other. However, it only lasted for a few breaths before the black light suddenly retreated and shook violently. Bang! And NBSP in the end, the black light scattered, and Kwang Dao's tall and majestic body was sent flying. As he was thrown back, the surface of his body constantly emitted clanking sounds and sparks. This was Lu Ming's remaining energy bombarding the black armor on Kwang Dao's body. Boom! In the end, just like Lan Shang, he crashed into a mountain. However, his situation was much better than Lan Shang's. When he hit the mountain, he stomped on it with both legs. The mountain rumbled, cracked, and then exploded. Kwang Dao used the force of the stomp to rush into the sky again. However, at this moment, Kwang Dao looked a little embarrassed. Said. His hair was disheveled and blood was flowing from the corner of his mouth. Cracks appeared on his black armor and blood was oozing out. How is that possible? How is this possible? On the side, Huang Qingan was trembling in fear. He could not believe it. Kwang Dao was ranked 5th on the virtual god ranking list. His combat strength had almost reached the peak of the virtual god level and he had defeated many experts at the LV1 True God realm. In the Kong Xian sect, there were only a few virtual god level powerhouses who could defeat Kwang Dao. But now, in the battle between Lu Ming and Kwang Dao, Lu Ming actually had the upper hand. The collision between the two ended with Kwang Dao being injured. Moreover, Lu Ming had only joined the sect a few years ago. His cultivation base was still far from peak stage virtual god level. If Lu Ming's cultivation base were to be raised to peak stage virtual god level, how terrifying would his combat strength be? This mad Daoist does have some strength. Looking at Kwang Dao who was not far away, Lu Ming had a thought. Given Lu Ming's current combat strength, he could kill an ordinary 9th level ethereal god realm cultivator in one move. However, his attack just now was blocked by Kwang Dao. However, Lu Ming knew that the madman had not used his full strength. The fighting power that Mad Path had displayed so far was not enough for him to defeat a real god. Even if they were ordinary true gods. You must have some trump cards that you haven't used yet. Use them all. Otherwise, you're not my match. Lu Ming said faintly. He was looking forward to seeing how powerful the 5th virtual god on the virtual god list would be if he went all out. That was because he hadn't used his full strength either. The battle formula hadn't been activated yet, either doubling or tripling his combat power. Lu Ming, it seems that I've really underestimated you. Your abilities are beyond my expectations. Now, you'll have to suffer all my wrath. Kwang Dao's eyes flickered with madness. His thick anger was about to spread out. He didn't know how many years it had been since a Void God Realm expert had forced him into this state. In the Kong Xian sect, there were only a few virtual god-level powerhouses who were stronger than him. He did not usually fight with those few people, and he was almost invincible among virtual god-level powerhouses. However, Lu Ming had made him bleed. He wanted to pay him back 10-fold or even 100-fold. Chaos. Suddenly, Kwang Dao roared and his hair stood up. His aura suddenly erupted like a volcano and increased by a large amount. This is a secret skill that can temporarily increase one's combat strength. Lu Ming's heart stirred. Tyrannical Divine Fist. Fist rules the world. Kwang Dao roared. His entire body was like a mountain, pressing down on Lu Ming. He punched out with both fists, the force of his punches like mountains. Buzz! Buzz! Lu Ming brandished his long spear. Spear shadows that were as thick as a mountain range were blasted out. Boom! Boom! In the sky, there were constant rumbles as the two of them fought intensely. In the blink of an eye, they had exchanged more than 10 moves. What an amazing secret skill! His combat strength has doubled. In the midst of the fight, Lu Ming could tell that the secret skill of the Mad Dao had doubled his combat strength. This battle formula was very similar. However, the secret technique of the Mad Path was naturally far from being comparable to the battle formula. For a secret skill like Madness Path, not only did it not have any side effects, but its limit was that one's combat power would only double. However, there was no limit to the battle symbol art. As Lu Ming continued to comprehend, the power of the battle symbol art would become stronger. Now, Lu Ming could trigger a threefold increase in combat strength. In the future, it was possible for him to trigger a fourfold increase, a fivefold increase, a sixfold increase, and so on. The word battle in his sea of consciousness was simply a treasure that could be excavated limitlessly. Kill, kill, kill. Huang Dao roared. His long hair fluttered in the wind and his aura was wild. His killing intent was as cold as a blade. His secret skill did have a flaw. It had a time limit. Once the time was up, it would fall back to its previous level. Therefore, he had to kill Lu Ming before the time came. Clang! Clang! The two of them exchanged a few more moves, and the battle was intense. It seems that this is your limit. Then I won't waste time with you. Lu Ming said coldly. Then, the double combat power of the battle character formula was activated. Boom! Lu Ming's combat strength increased tremendously. He swept his spear and directly broke through Huang Dao's fist force, sending him flying. Why would I? Huang Dao was shocked, it was simply unbelievable. Since the start of the battle, Lu Ming had not used his full strength. This kind of combat strength was simply abnormal. He was more abnormal than any monster he had ever seen. 3 apocalyptic strikes, break the sky. After repelling Huang Dao, Lu Ming immediately used the 3 apocalyptic strikes, which turned into a dazzling spear radiance and attacked Huang Dao. No, no, block it, I want to block it. In the face of Lu Ming's attack, Huang Dao's expression changed drastically. He felt the threat of death. This attack could possibly kill him. Black gold art. Huang Dao roared and his body gave off a black light. A layer of black metal-like light appeared on his body. This was another kind of divine skill, a defensive divine skill. After using the defensive divine skill, Crazy Dao punched continuously. The last huge fist force was directed at Lu Ming. Bang! The fist force dissipated and the spear light hit Huang Dao's body. Huang Dao's body shook violently and flew out like a meteor. In an instant, he had flown thousands of miles. Pfft! He spat out a mouthful of blood as his defensive divine skill was pierced through. The black armor on his body shattered, and a large hole appeared in his chest. However, he did not die and blocked Lu Ming's move. Run, run, run. Huang Dao only had one thought. He used all his strength and even burned his Shen power. His entire body was like a ball of fire as he rushed into the distance. His speed was shocking. In the blink of an eye, he was tens of thousands of li away. This guy's life-saving ability is really strong. Lu Ming shook his head slightly. He was also a little surprised that he did not kill the Mad Daoist with one move. However, Mad Dao's life-saving ability was indeed powerful. He used the secret skill, offensive divine skill, defensive divine skill, and the armor together to block Lu Ming's killing blow. Moreover, Lu Ming did not cultivate any speed-type divine skill. His speed was limited and he would not be able to catch up with Huang Dao. Following that, Lu Ming's gaze turned to Huang Qingan. Chapter 2697 Attractive. Lu Ming's gaze suddenly turned to Huang Qingan, causing his expression to change drastically and turn pale. Lu Ming, don't kill me. Huang Qingan's face was full of fear, and his voice was trembling. Never in his wildest dreams did he expect that the Mad Daoist was no match for Lu Ming and was forced to flee in a sorry state. At this moment, he could only feel his legs trembling and even forgot to escape. Not kill you. You just said that you wanted to kill me, Lu Ming said coldly. A cold killing intent seeped out of his body and enveloped Huang Qingan. Don't! Huang Qingan screamed, turned around, and ran. Lu Ming's figure did not move and he thrust his spear forward. A ray of spear light crossed the distance of 1,000 miles and pierced towards Huang Qingan. Huang Qingan's defense was pierced through like tofu. His body was pierced through, and blood spurted out. Lu Ming, you'll die a horrible death. The saint will not let you off, Huang Qingan roared and then stopped breathing. Lu Ming's face was calm. He came above the half-dead Lan Shang and killed her with one shot under her despairing eyes. Lu Ming would never show mercy to his enemies. As long as there was a chance, he would kill until the other party was terrified. Let's go. Lu Ming said as he walked past Yu Linglong. Lu Ming, your ability is really amazing. Usurper. Said me. Yu Linglong followed Lu Ming's footsteps, blinking her eyes and asking curiously. I was just lucky and managed to master a secret technique that can increase my combat power. Lu Ming casually used a reason to push her away. After that, the two of them continued on their way. However, after flying for a while, they did not encounter a single nether dragon. Instead, they encountered quite a few other outer sect disciples. It was obvious that there were no more spirit dragons in this area. Even if there were, they had all been killed by others. The two of them went deep into the dark dragon secret realm. The terrain was also becoming more and more desolate. Roar! Roar! In the distance, a thunderous roar resounded through the sky. The nether dragon beasts charged toward them with incredible speed. It was as if they had already discovered them from afar. These nether dragon beasts are strange. We haven't even noticed them, but they seem to have noticed us from far away. Yu Linglong asked curiously. Lu Ming was also a little surprised. It was true. For the past few times, the nether dragon beasts had taken the initiative to attack them. Each time, there were 7, 8, or even a dozen of them. But no matter what, this was a good thing. At least they didn't have to waste time searching. However, the next moment, Lu Ming and the rest's expressions changed. In the distance, roars sounded again, rising and falling. Then, the void trembled, and nether dragon beasts appeared in the distance. There were at least 100 of them. More than 100 nether dragon beasts stepped through the air and charged toward Lu Ming and the rest. Their momentum was overwhelming. There are so many nether dragons, run, run! Yu Linglong shouted. She turned around and ran away. Her reaction was so fast. However, Lu Ming's reaction was not any slower than hers. He also turned around and ran. What a joke! There were too many nether dragons. There were more than 100 of them, and all of them were impervious to weapons. Their necks were their only weakness. With so many nether dragons charging at him, no matter how strong Lu Ming was, he would be dismembered by the chaotic beasts. Roar! 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 The nether dragon roared as it chased after him. The two sides, one chasing and one escaping, crossed tens of thousands of miles in the blink of an eye. Help! Yu Linglong shouted, because other figures had appeared in front of her. They were the other outer sect disciples of the Kong Xian sect. This fellow is very unkind. This was Lu Ming's evaluation of Yu Linglong. It was obvious that Yu Linglong wanted to drag the others down to distract the nether dragon beast. Of course, Lu Ming naturally followed closely behind Yu Linglong. It's the nether dragon. Nest, there are so many of them, don't come over. When the outer sect disciples first saw the nether dragon, they were overjoyed. However, when they realized that there were more than 100 nether dragons charging at them, their faces turned pale. They screamed and ran away. Don't run. Let's join forces and fight these nether dragon beasts. Yu Linglong shouted. It would be a wonder if you didn't run. Little girl, don't come over. Get lost. Those people shouted and ran faster than anyone else. Let's split up and distract the nether dragon beast. Lu Ming sent a voice transmission to Yu Linglong. Yu Linglong nodded. Then, the two of them flew in another direction. This way, if a part of the nether dragon was attracted by those people, the pressure on them would be much lighter. However, to their surprise, the nether dragon beasts did not even look at the others. The 100-odd nether dragon beasts continued to chase after Lu Ming and the rest. Nest, you can't play like this. Lu Ming was speechless. The nether dragon beasts seemed to be staring at them. Battle formula, activate. Lu Ming had an idea and he continuously triggered the battle formula. Not long after, he successfully triggered the battle formula that tripled his combat power. After triggering the tripled combat strength, Lu Ming's speed increased by a notch. Let's go. Lu Ming pulled Yu Linglong and dashed forward quickly. In this way, they gradually pulled away from the nether dragon. After a while, they finally shook off the nether dragon completely. They found a quiet place and meditated to recover their divine power. After their divine power had recovered, the two of them began to discuss. That's weird. Why are those nether dragon beasts staring at us? Yu Linglong asked, puzzled. Lu Ming shook his head. He could not figure this out. Could it be that there's something on our bodies that's attracting the nether dragon? Lu Ming said. What's attracting the nether dragon? Yu Linglong's eyes flickered. However, even if the two of them tried to recall, they could not find anything on them that would attract the nether dragon beast. After some time, the two of them left the area and continued to head deeper into the dark dragon's secret realm. However, what left them speechless was that not long after, they lured another group of nether dragon beasts to chase after them, and they could only run. After they had escaped, they didn't dare to be too brazen. They carefully approached the secret realm from another direction. This time, there were more than 10 nether dragons coming at them. There were more than 10 nether dragons, but they were not afraid. After a while, they killed the nether dragon and obtained its beast core. For the rest of the time, they wandered around the area. As long as they encountered a large number of nether dragons, they would turn around and run. If there were a small number, they would stop and hunt. In the blink of an eye, they had been in the dark dragon's secret realm for a month and a half. They had only been here for 3 months, and half of it had already passed, said. However, he had also gained a lot. Lu Ming had more than 200 beast cores. If he exchanged them for points, he would have more than 20,000 points. He was getting closer to 50,000 points. The nether dragon beasts in this territory were lured by them in batches and they were slowly killed. Finally, they were almost done. The two of them left the area and continued deeper into the dark dragon's secret realm. Chapter 2698 Attractive. Lu Ming's gaze suddenly turned to Huang Qingan, causing his expression to change drastically and turn pale. Lu Ming, don't kill me. Huang Qingan's face was full of fear, and his voice was trembling. Never in his wildest dreams did he expect that the mad Taoist was no match for Lu Ming and was forced to flee in a sorry state. At this moment, he could only feel his legs trembling and even forgot to escape. Not kill you. You just said that you wanted to kill me, Lu Ming said coldly. A cold killing intent seeped out of his body and enveloped Huang Qingan. Don't. Huang Qingan screamed, turned around, and ran. Lu Ming's figure did not move and he thrust his spear forward. A ray of spear light crossed the distance of 1,000 miles and pierced towards Huang Qingan. Huang Qingan's defense was pierced through like tofu. His body was pierced through, and blood spurted out. Lu Ming, you'll die a horrible death. The saint will not let you off, Huang Qingan roared and then stopped breathing. Lu Ming's face was calm. He came above the half-dead Lan Shang and killed her with one shot under her despairing eyes. Lu Ming would never show mercy to his enemies. As long as there was a chance, he would kill until the other party was terrified. Let's go. Lu Ming said as he walked past Yu Linglong. Lu Ming, your ability is really amazing. Usurpa. Said me. Yu Linglong followed Lu Ming's footsteps, blinking her eyes and asking curiously. I was just lucky and managed to master a secret technique that can increase my combat power. Lu Ming casually used a reason to push her away. After that, the two of them continued on their way. However, after flying for a while, they did not encounter a single nether dragon. Instead, they encountered quite a few other outer sect disciples. It was obvious that there were no more spirit dragons in this area. Even if there were, they had all been killed by others. The two of them went deep into the dark dragon's secret realm. The terrain was also becoming more and more desolate. Roar! Roar! In the distance, a thunderous roar resounded through the sky. The nether dragon beasts charged toward them with incredible speed. It was as if they had already discovered them from afar. These nether dragon beasts are strange. We haven't even noticed them, but they seem to have noticed us from far away. Yu Linglong asked curiously. Lu Ming was also a little surprised. It was true. For the past few times, the nether dragon beasts had taken the initiative to attack them. Each time, there were 7, 8, or even a dozen of them. But no matter what, this was a good thing. At least they didn't have to waste time searching. However, the next moment, Lu Ming and the rest's expressions changed. In the distance, roars sounded again, rising and falling. Then, the void trembled, and nether dragon beasts appeared in the distance. There were at least 100 of them. More than 100 nether dragon beasts stepped through the air and charged toward Lu Ming and the rest. Their momentum was overwhelming. There are so many nether dragons, run, run! Yu Linglong shouted. She turned around and ran away. Her reaction was so fast. However, Lu Ming's reaction was not any slower than hers. He also turned around and ran. What a joke! There were too many nether dragons. There were more than 100 of them, and all of them were impervious to weapons. Their necks were their only weakness. With so many nether dragons charging at him, no matter how strong Lu Ming was, he would be dismembered by the chaotic beasts. Roar! 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 The nether dragon roared as it chased after him. The two sides, one chasing and one escaping, crossed tens of thousands of miles in the blink of an eye. Help! Yu Linglong shouted, because other figures had appeared in front of her. They were the other outer sect disciples of the Kong Xian sect. This fellow is very unkind. This was Lu Ming's evaluation of Yu Linglong. It was obvious that Yu Linglong wanted to drag the others down to distract the nether dragon beast. Of course, Lu Ming naturally followed closely behind Yu Linglong. It's the nether dragon. Nest, there are so many of them, don't come over. When the outer sect disciples first saw the nether dragon, they were overjoyed. However, when they realized that there were more than 100 nether dragons charging at them, their faces turned pale. They screamed and ran away. Don't run. Let's join forces and fight these nether dragon beasts. Yu Linglong shouted. It would be a wonder if you didn't run. Little girl, don't come over. Get lost. Those people shouted and ran faster than anyone else. Let's split up and distract the nether dragon beast. Lu Ming sent a voice transmission to Yu Linglong. Yu Linglong nodded. Then, the two of them flew in another direction. This way, if a part of the nether dragon was attracted by those people, the pressure on them would be much lighter. However, to their surprise, the nether dragon beasts did not even look at the others. The 100-odd nether dragon beasts continued to chase after Lu Ming and the rest. Nest, you can't play like this. Lu Ming was speechless. The nether dragon beasts seemed to be staring at them. Battle formula, activate. Lu Ming had an idea and he continuously triggered the battle formula. Not long after, he successfully triggered the battle formula that tripled his combat power. After triggering the tripled combat strength, Lu Ming's speed increased by a notch. Let's go. Lu Ming pulled Yu Linglong and dashed forward quickly. In this way, they gradually pulled away from the nether dragon. After a while, they finally shook off the nether dragon completely. They found a quiet place and meditated to recover their divine power. After their divine power had recovered, the two of them began to discuss. That's weird. Why are those nether dragon beasts staring at us? Yu Linglong asked, puzzled. Lu Ming shook his head. He could not figure this out. Could it be that there's something on our bodies that's attracting the nether dragon? Lu Ming said. What's attracting the nether dragon? Yu Linglong's eyes flickered. However, even if the two of them tried to recall, they could not find anything on them that would attract the nether dragon beast. After some time, the two of them left the area and continued to head deeper into the dark dragon's secret realm. However, what left them speechless was that not long after, they lured another group of nether dragon beasts to chase after them, and they could only run. After they had escaped, they didn't dare to be too brazen. They carefully approached the secret realm from another direction. This time, there were more than 10 nether dragons coming at them. There were more than 10 nether dragons, but they were not afraid. After a while, they killed the nether dragon and obtained its beast core. For the rest of the time, they wandered around the area. As long as they encountered a large number of nether dragons, they would turn around and run. If there were a small number, they would stop and hunt. In the blink of an eye, they had been in the dark dragon's secret realm for a month and a half. They had only been here for 3 months, and half of it had already passed, said. However, he had also gained a lot. Lu Ming had more than 200 beast cores. If he exchanged them for points, he would have more than 20,000 points. He was getting closer to 50,000 points. The nether dragon beasts in this territory were lured by them in batches and they were slowly killed. Finally, they were almost done. The two of them left the area and continued deeper into the dark dragon's secret realm. Chapter 2699, Wu Zifeng. Lu Ming was unyielding. He unleashed his potential to the extreme and fought the nether dragon beast and the dragon bone flower. All of a sudden, his body burst forth with a resplendent reddish gold light that was far more resplendent than before. The golden red armor on his body was originally full of cracks. However, at this moment, the cracks had disappeared. The golden red armor shone brightly and looked even more solid. He had broken through. At the critical moment, the 9-stage crimson gold armor had broken through. Lu Ming had already cultivated the 9-stage crimson gold armor to the peak of the 1st stage. He had been stuck at the peak of the 1st stage for some time. However, after the close-quarters combat, his potential was stimulated and he finally broke through. 9-stage crimson gold armor had broken through to the 2nd stage, and its defensive power had increased greatly, temporarily blocking the attacks. However, Lu Ming did not feel happy at all. Their defense had been strengthened, but they still couldn't charge out, because their attack power hadn't increased. They were still surrounded by the nether dragon beast and the dragon bone flower and were under constant attack. Lu Ming tried his best to protect Yu Linglong, but if this continued, the crimson gold armor's defense would not be able to hold on for long. It would have been broken long ago. Linglong, at this moment, a loud shout came from the sky. Rays of sword light rained down, slashing at the nether dragon beast and the dragon bone flower beside Lu Ming. The sword light was so powerful that it sent many nether dragon beasts and dragon bone flowers flying. Then, a figure rushed in. It was a handsome young man in a snow-white robe. Wu Zifeng, why are you here? Why are you here? Yu Linglong was extremely surprised to see this young man. I've come all the way here to look for you. I heard that you might have entered the Dark Dragon's secret realm, so I came here to look for you. My hard work pays off, and I've finally found you. The young man rushed to Yu Linglong's side and said. Why are you so stupid to rush in and die? Be careful. Yu Linglong cried out in shock. From all directions, nether dragon beasts and dragon bone flowers kept coming at them. Wu Zifeng brandished his sword to meet the attack. Sword light burst forth and sent some nether dragon beasts and dragon bone flowers flying. His strength was astonishing. What powerful combat power! That's sacred grade divine power. Lu Ming's heart stirred. This Wu Zifeng had actually mastered divine-grade divine power. The power of his divine skill was also very shocking. He was clearly only at the 9th tier of the Void God realm, but his combat strength was far above Kuang Dao's. However, Wu Zifeng's name was not on the Void God rank. The Nether Dragon Beast's weakness is on its neck. The Dragon Bone Flower's weakness is its stem. Lu Ming reminded him. Wu Zifeng cast a glance at Lu Ming and nodded slightly. He changed the stance of his sword and attacked the weakness of the Nether Dragon Beast and the Dragon Bone Flower. In an instant, a few Nether Dragon Beasts and Dragon Bone Flowers were killed. With the addition of Wu Zifeng, the pressure on them was a little less, but it was still difficult to rush out. Roar! Roar! From the other side of the canyon, the roars continued, making their faces even uglier. More and more Nether Dragon Beasts were charging over. The rustling sound of the GRA's was endless. More Dragon Bone Flowers had arrived. What's going on? Why are there more and more Nether Dragon Beasts and Dragon Bone Flowers? And they're attacking so crazily, as if they don't care about their lives. I wasn't that crazy when I came in just now. Wu Zifeng also cried out in alarm. It was relatively easier for him to kill his way in, but it was much more difficult to kill his way out now. The Nether Dragon Beast and the Dragon Bone Flower seemed to be determined to keep them here. From afar, the three of them were surrounded by the Nether Dragon Beasts and the Dragon Bone Flowers. Bang! Bang! Lu Ming was hit continuously. His golden armor trembled and cracks appeared on it again. Then, more and more cracks appeared. Bang! One of the Nether Dragon Beast's sharp claws pierced through Lu Ming's defense and clawed at his body, tearing off a piece of flesh. Die! Lu Ming's eyes were bloodshot as he stabbed the Nether Dragon Beast's neck with his sword. The sword went through the Nether Dragon Beast's neck and blood sprayed out, mixing with Lu Ming's blood. But at this moment, a sudden change occurred. Runes that looked like small snakes suddenly appeared on Lu Ming's body. They intertwined and covered his entire body. Dark Dragon Blood Curse. This was the Dark Dragon Blood Curse that the sect master of Kong Xian's sect had placed on Lu Ming. Walala. As soon as the Nether Dragon Blood Curse was cast, all the blood in the Nether Dragon Beast's body was completely absorbed by it. At that moment, Lu Ming felt a violent force erupting from his body. At the same time, a violent and demonic intent filled Lu Ming's heart. Kill! Lu Ming roared and slashed with his sword. Pfft! The sword had actually split the head of a spirit dragon beast in half. The Nether Dragon's defense was astonishing, but at this moment, it could not withstand Lu Ming's sword. The blood of the Nether Dragon Beast was completely absorbed by the Nether Dragon Blood Curse. The energy in Lu Ming's body became even stronger. Kill! 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 Lu Ming's eyes were bloodshot. His killing intent soared to the sky. He kept swinging his combat sword, killing several Nether Dragons in a row. What's going on? At the side, Yu Linglong and Wu Zifeng were both dumbfounded. Why did Lu Ming's combat strength suddenly increase so much? He had become invincible. Roar! 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 The Nether Dragon Beast and the Dragon Bone Flower roared like thunder. They became even more maniacal. Pairs of red eyes stared at Lu Ming greedily as if they were looking at a rare treasure. Then, they charged at Lu Ming in a frenzy, completely abandoning Wu Zifeng and Yu Linglong. I understand now. The Nether Dragon Beasts and the Dragon Bone Flower are attacking us so crazily because of the curse mark on his body. Yu Linglong suddenly called out. Indeed, what a strange seal. What kind of seal is this? It looks extremely evil. Wu Zifeng also frowned. No, he's going to be drowned. Let's go save him. Yu Linglong shouted, wanting to save Lu Ming. Don't come over. You guys go quickly. You guys rush out first. At this moment, Lu Ming's voice was heard. Now, Lu Ming also understood what was going on. The nether dragon beasts and the dragonbone flower were besieging them because of Lu Ming. To be more precise, they were besieged because of the nether dragon blood curse. It could be said that he was completely attracted by the dark dragon blood curse. It was no wonder that they didn't even need to look for the nether dragon beast on their way here. Dark dragon blood curse, dark dragon secret realm, dark dragon beast, dragon bone flower. There must be a connection between all these. No, we came here together. If we leave together, Yu Linglong called out. You will only be a hindrance if you stay here. You go first, I have a way to get out. Lu Ming bellowed as he swung his sword, killing a nether dragon beast. The moment the nether dragon beast died, the nether dragon blood curse absorbed its blood, causing the energy in Lu Ming's body to become even more violent. However, Lu Ming had a vague feeling that this was not a good thing. The nether dragon blood curse would become stronger after absorbing the nether dragon beast's blood. It would be more difficult for him to break free from the nether dragon blood curse. Chapter 2700 Increasing strength. However, he couldn't care about that now. He had to rush out first. Linglong, he's right. Let's rush out first. He might be able to escape, Wu Zifeng said to Yu Linglong. Let's go. Lu Ming roared. Lu Ming, you must rush out. Yu Linglong gritted her teeth and rushed in the other direction with Wu Zifeng. As expected, the nether dragon beast and the dragonbone flower did not care about them at all. They rushed through the canyon easily and came to a mountain peak outside the canyon. They looked into the distance and waited for Lu Ming. This wait lasted for more than 10 minutes. Why isn't he out yet? Yu Linglong was a little anxious. He's out. Suddenly, Wu Zifeng's eyes moved. From the canyon in the distance, a figure was rushing over at top speed. It was Lu Ming. At this moment, Lu Ming's entire body was bathed in blood. His entire body was almost covered by the dark dragon blood curse. As soon as he rushed out of the canyon, he turned into a rainbow light and rushed into the distance at an astonishing speed. Roar! Roar! The nether dragon beast and the dragonbone flower chased after him like a tide, but they were slower than Lu Ming. Let's follow them. Yu Linglong and the other woman followed from another direction. The nether dragon beast and the dragonbone flower were not as fast as Lu Ming and they soon lost track of him. They slowly came to a stop and retreated. Yu Linglong and Wu Zifeng flew all the way and finally found Lu Ming after some time. At this moment, Lu Ming was lying in a small stream, unconscious. The dark dragon blood curse slithered around his body like small snakes. It slowly hid and disappeared. Yu Linglong and Wu Zifeng brought Lu Ming to a cave and waited patiently. This is a disciple of your Kongxian sect. His strength is truly astonishing. Wu Zifeng sized Lu Ming up and said. It's indeed shocking. Moreover, he has just entered the sect not long ago. Yu Linglong said. Just entered the sect? Wu Zifeng's eyes widened in surprise. The two of them chatted as they waited. Lu Ming finally woke up a few hours later. It hurt. After Lu Ming woke up, the first thing he felt was intense pain all over his body. Lu Ming stood up and took out a few healing pills to consume. He began to refine the medicinal effects to recover. A few days later, Lu Ming had finally adjusted his condition to the peak. The injuries on his body had also healed. Lu Ming, are you alright? Yu Linglong walked over. I'm fine. Thank you for your help. Lu Ming smiled. He had been unconscious outside earlier. If it were not for Yu Linglong and the rest, he would have been in grave danger. He might have been killed by the nether dragon beast's fangs. I should be the one thanking you. Yu Linglong quickly said. That's right. We should be the ones thanking you. Otherwise, we wouldn't have been able to break out of the encirclement of the nether dragon beast and the dragonbone flower. Wu Zifeng quickly stepped forward and held Yu Linglong's hand. He looked at Lu Ming warily. Yu Linglong's little face blushed slightly, and she said, Lu Ming, let me introduce you. This is My fiancé, Wu Zifeng. I see. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. It turned out that Wu Zifeng was Yu Linglong's fiancé. No wonder he risked his life to save her. No wonder he was wary of him. However, Wu Zifeng's character should be considered good. If other people saw his fiancé with other people, they would probably reveal killing intent. Moreover, he could see that Wu Zifeng and Yu Linglong's relationship was not bad. Of course, he would not be so narcissistic as to think that the reason why Yu Linglong approached him in the past was because she was interested in him. It was mostly out of curiosity. Brother Wu, you're too polite. I'm only letting you go first because I'm confident in my chances. Lu Ming smiled. By the way, Brother Lu, what's with the curse mark on your body? Wu Zifeng changed the topic. Lu Ming knew that Wu Zifeng was asking about the Dark Dragon Blood Curse. However, the Dark Dragon Blood Curse was placed by the sect master of Kong Xian sect. It was of great importance, and Lu Ming could not reveal it. Otherwise, the consequences would be unpredictable. I found this by accident when I was exploring an ancient ruin. Nothing has happened to it. I wonder why it's acting up today. Lu Ming casually told a lie. I see. Brother Lu, I feel that this curse is extremely evil. If it's used for too long, I'm afraid it'll be disadvantageous to you. We need to find a way to get rid of it. Wu Zifu said with a sincere expression. He didn't seem to be putting on an act. Many thanks for Brother Wu's reminder. Lu Ming said. Lu Ming, I have a feeling that those nether dragon beasts and dragon bone flowers are after your curse mark. We'll have to be more careful when we move in the future to avoid being surrounded. Yu Linglong said. It's a pity that we're still too weak. Otherwise, we could have killed a large number of nether dragons and obtained points. Lu Ming said. That's right, why didn't I think of that? Oh. Yu Linglong's eyes brightened. My cultivation base has long reached the peak of the Void God realm. I didn't break through before because I wanted to enter the Dark Dragon's secret realm. However, after entering this place, I can make a breakthrough. I can break through to the true God realm now, and when I do, it will be much easier to kill the Nether Dragon. That's right. I can also charge into the true God realm. Wu Zifeng also nodded and said. Alright, then we'll cultivate here for a while. After we break through, we'll go hunt the Nether Dragon. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. Alright, we'll work together. We'll split the beast cores and dragon bones equally. Yu Linglong said. The three of them discussed and began to cultivate. Yu Linglong and Wu Zifeng began to break through to the true God realm. On the other hand, Lu Ming began to cultivate in another direction. His cultivation had just broken through to the 5th level Void God realm, so it was impossible for him to break through in a short period of time. The only way he could increase his strength was through the godly skills and the battle formula. Lu Ming realized that after the previous battle, not only did he have a breakthrough in the 9-stage Crimson Gold armor, but he had also made great progress in the 3 apocalyptic strikes and the battle character formula. Lu Ming felt that he had to activate the battle character formula 8 times to trigger the tripled combat power. The probability had increased to 1/8. As for the 3 apocalyptic strikes, it wasn't far from breaking through to the 2nd stage, and it seemed like it could break through at any time. Immediately, Lu Ming focused his energy on the 3 apocalyptic strikes. As expected, half a month later, the 3 apocalyptic strikes successfully broke through and reached the 2nd stage. Now that the 3 apocalyptic strikes had reached the 2nd stage, its attack power had undoubtedly increased by a large amount. Given Lu Ming's current cultivation, in addition to the 2nd stage of the 3 apocalyptic strikes and the 9-fold Crimson Gold armor, in addition to triggering the tripled combat strength, Lu Ming's abilities would reach an astonishing level. If he met Mad Dao again, he could crush him into dust with one move. At this time, the aura on Yu Linglong and Wu Zifeng's bodies became stronger and stronger. Time flew by, and another half a month passed. Boom! Boom! A shocking aura burst out from Yu Linglong and Wu Zifeng at the same time. The two of them broke through almost at the same time and reached the true God realm. Chapter 2701 Wanton Killing. After a month of cultivation, Yu Linglong and Wu Zifeng finally broke through the bottleneck and reached the true God realm. They took out a large number of divine crystals and started to absorb them. Piles of divine crystals turned into divine qi and were absorbed by the two. Not long after, the two's auras finally stabilized and they concealed themselves. The two of them had completely stabilized at the first stage of true God realm. I've finally broken through to the true God realm. Yu Linglong's face was full of smiles as she waved her fists and said, "Let's go and kill the nether dragon." "Lu Ming, you'll be the bait," he said. Yu Linglong said with confidence. Before she and Wu Zifeng made the breakthrough, their fighting power was already very shocking. Now that they had broken through to the first stage of true God, their fighting power had increased by a large margin. Naturally, they were full of confidence. Lu Ming touched his nose. How did he become the bait? There was no time to lose. There was still less than half a month to the 3-month deadline. The three of them left this place and rushed towards the canyon. However, when they arrived at the canyon, they did not see a single nether dragon. It's the same move again. There are many nether dragon beasts lying in ambush. Yu Linglong spread out her spiritual sense and discovered many nether dragon beasts. Now that her cultivation had broken through, her spiritual sense had become sharper and could cover a wider range, which was why she was able to discover those nether dragons. Clearly, the nether dragon beast wanted to use the same tactic again. Once they entered the canyon, it would surround them with the dragon bone flower. However, Lu Ming and the rest were bold and fearless now. They might as well beat him at his own game. The three of them acted as if they had not seen the nether dragon beast. They entered the canyon and said through it, returning to the GRA's land. During the battle, the GRA's land was in a state of chaos. However, in just a month, the GRA's had grown back. Rustle. Rustle. In the distance, rustling sounds could be heard. They're here. Yu Linglong's eyes lit up. In the distance, waves rippled in the sea of green GRA's, and then hundreds of dragon bone flowers appeared. Buzz. 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 Some of the dragon bone flowers sprung and charged toward Lu Ming and the other two like bolts of lightning, launching fierce attacks. Kill. Yu Linglong had just made a breakthrough in her cultivation and was eager to try. She immediately rushed over. This time, she didn't use a soft whip. Instead, she took out a combat sword, which was a middle-grade divine weapon. Whoosh! The sword light burst out like a flying immortal. Then, the two stalks of the dragon bone flowers were directly cut off by Yu Linglong. They died on the spot without any signs of life. As for the dragon bone, Yu Linglong waved her hand and put it away. Lu Ming and Wu Zifeng moved as well, rushing toward the dragon bone flower. In the process of rushing out, Lu Ming activated the battle formula with all his might. He first activated the double combat power. Pfft! Lu Ming swung his sword and sent a dragon bone flower flying. Then, he swung his sword again and cut off the stem of another dragon bone flower. As soon as the three of them attacked, they killed more than 10 dragon bone flowers in a row, which seemed to have angered the remaining dragon bone flowers. The rest of the dragon bone flowers let out ear-piercing shrieks and charged toward Lu Ming and the other two. At this moment, Lu Ming had successfully triggered the tripled combat power. The first move of the 3 apocalyptic strikes, Skybreaking. Lu Ming used his combat sword to cast the first move of the 3 apocalyptic strikes. A sword light that was hundreds of miles long flashed past. Pfft! 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 More than 30 dragon bone flowers had their stems cut off by Lu Ming. Now, Lu Ming's combat strength was tripled and he had reached the second stage of the 3 apocalyptic strikes. This move was almost Lu Ming's strongest move and its power was shocking. In one move, he had killed more than 30 dragon bone flowers. However, the amount of divine power it consumed was also astonishing. With my divine power, I can only use a few moves to release the 3 apocalyptic strikes at full power. Lu Ming laughed bitterly to himself. His weakness was that his cultivation level was not high enough and his divine power was not strong enough. Although he had cultivated other king-grade divine power and his divine power was far stronger than cultivators of the same level, he was only at 5th level Void God realm after all. Although the 3 apocalyptic strikes were powerful, he could not fully display them. Similarly, he couldn't fully use the 9-stage crimson gold armor. The stem of the dragon bone flower was cut off and the dragon bones fell to the ground. Lu Ming swept them up with his divine power and kept them. What shocking strength! Wu Zifeng and Yu Linglong were also shocked by Lu Ming's move. Wu Zifeng was considered to be knowledgeable and had seen many terrifying geniuses. However, it was his first time seeing someone as powerful as Lu Ming. They gathered their thoughts and focused on hunting the dragon bone flower. With the strength of the 3 of them, it was much easier to hunt for the dragon bone flower now. It was completely a crushing defeat. It was a world of difference from the passive state they were in a month ago. Soon, they had killed more than 150 dragon bone flowers. Roar! Roar! At this moment, a roar came from the distance. The nether dragon had appeared. The SPCE trembled as the nether dragon beast charged toward them. Keep it up. The 3 of them put in even more effort to hunt down the dragon bone flowers. They used all of their techniques to kill as many dragon bone flowers as possible before the nether dragon beast arrived. Whoosh! Lu Ming cast the first move of the 3 apocalyptic strikes again, Air Blast. With one move, another 30 dragon bone flowers were killed. Yu Linglong and Wu Zifeng also used their unique skills. Their combat strength was amazing, and a large number of dragon bone flowers died at their hands. Originally, there were nearly 300 dragon bone flowers, but before the nether dragon beast arrived, there were less than 100 left. Roar! Roar! A large group of nether dragon beasts, at least 300 in number, charged toward Lu Ming and the rest. There were even more behind. Lu Ming and the other 2 charged toward the nether dragon beast and engaged in an intense battle. One nether dragon beast after another died at their hands. Although the nether dragon beast and dragon bone flower were powerful, they had their weaknesses. Now that their strength had increased, it would not be too difficult for them to kill them. This battle went on for half an hour. Hundreds of nether dragon beasts and hundreds of dragon bone flowers were killed by the 3 of them. Only a few dozen nether dragon beasts were still attacking them. Lu Ming, catch! At that moment, Yu Linglong waved her hand and a divine pill flew towards Lu Ming. Spirit strengthening pill. Lu Ming could tell that it was a spirit strengthening pill at a glance. However, the medicinal fragrance was strong and the medicinal effects were many times better than those that Lu Ming had obtained in the past. This was a supreme-grade spirit strengthening pill. The market price was shockingly high. Refining a transformation spirit strengthening pill could recover one's divine power extremely quickly. Lu Ming swallowed the spirit strengthening pill in one gulp. The pill immediately turned into medicinal power and circulated through Lu Ming's body. He quickly absorbed it. Lu Ming's divine power, which was about to dry up, was quickly restored. Yu Linglong and Wu Zifeng had both taken supreme-grade spirit-strengthening pills to recover their divine power. There were only dozens of nether dragon beasts and a small number of dragon bone flowers left. They did not need to use their unique skills. They fought slowly while recovering their divine power. The supreme-grade spirit-strengthening pill had extraordinary effects. Not long after, the 4 divine flames in Lu Ming's dantian burned fiercely again. His divine power had recovered by 80%. Their divine power had recovered by a large amount. They became more alert and their attacks became fiercer. The remaining nether dragon beasts and dragon bone flowers were quickly killed. Chapter 2702 The Nether Dragon Beast King. After killing all the nether dragon beasts and the dragon bone flower, Lu Ming and the other 2 smiled. This was a huge harvest. There were more than 700 nether dragons and dragon bone flowers. If they split it evenly, each of them would get more than 200 points, which was more than 20,000 points. Lu Ming was not far from 50,000 points. However, they still had one more thing to do, and that was to dig out the nether dragon's beast core. They could just keep the dragon bone of the dragon bone flower, but they would have to dig out the nether dragon beast's beast core. Let's start work. Yu Linglong's eyes narrowed into slits as she smiled. She picked up the sword and started digging. The three of them worked together and collected the beast cores one by one. However, at this moment, a ray of rainbow light charged toward Lu Ming at a terrifying speed. Roar! His roar shook the entire valley. The force swept through like a storm and slashed at Lu Ming like an extremely sharp blade. Lu Ming, be careful. Be careful. At the side, Yu Linglong and Wu Zifeng cried out in alarm, but it was too late for them to help. Danger, danger! At this moment, Lu Ming's entire body tensed up. His hair stood on end as he felt an extremely dangerous aura. He did not have time to think. Almost subconsciously, he cast the 9-stage crimson gold armor. A crimson gold armor covered Lu Ming's entire body. Boom! A huge claw covered in scales scratched the 9-layer crimson gold armor, making a loud noise. The crimson gold armor shook violently, and cracks immediately appeared on it. Lu Ming's body flew out like a cannonball and hit the wall of the canyon, creating a huge pit. Pfft! Lu Ming spat out a mouthful of blood and his face turned pale. At the same time, he could finally see what had attacked him. Nether dragon, another nether dragon. Moreover, this spirit dragon beast was twice as large as the other spirit dragons. Its eyes were blood red, and its aura was cold and terrifying. It glared at Lu Ming. At this moment, Yu Linglong and Wu Zifeng finally reacted. Their figures flashed and they stood in front of Lu Ming. Lu Ming, are you alright? Yu Linglong asked. I'm fine. Lu Ming wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth and flew out of the pit. He stood side by side with Yu Linglong and Wu Zifeng. Luckily, he managed to activate the 9-stage crimson gold armor in time. Luckily, his 9-stage crimson gold armor had already broken through and reached the 2nd stage. Otherwise, he really wouldn't have been able to block the nether dragon's attack. The attack of that spirit dragon beast was shockingly powerful. It was more than 5 times stronger than the other spirit dragon beasts they had encountered before. It's the nether dragon beast king. Wu Zifeng frowned. Nether dragon beast king. Lu Ming and Yu Linglong's eyes lit up. The nether dragon beast king's beast core would definitely be worth more points. The nether dragon beast king's body was surrounded by a faint halo. It kept growling, and its eyes were extremely cold. Boom! Suddenly, the nether dragon beast king's 4 limbs stomped on the ground. Its body stirred up a gust of wind as it pounced toward Lu Ming and the other two. I'll kill you. Yu Linglong was the first to attack. Her figure flashed and she swept forward, her sword stabbing towards the neck of the nether dragon beast king. However, the nether dragon beast king was extremely agile. With a slight twist, it avoided the attack on its neck. Yu Linglong's long sword stabbed into the scales of the nether dragon beast king, causing sparks to fly. It did not break through the nether dragon beast king's defense. Buzz! Then, the nether dragon beast king extended its sharp claws and grabbed towards Yu Linglong. Yu Linglong's expression changed slightly, and she quickly retracted her sword to block it. The two of them exchanged a blow, and Yu Linglong's figure drifted back. The nether dragon beast king roared and wanted to chase after Yu Linglong, but Wu Zifeng had already arrived. The long sword in his hand bloomed with sword light and stabbed toward the nether dragon beast king. However, the nether dragon's sharp claws continued to swing out like sabers, blocking Wu Zifeng's sword light. The two sides collided for more than a dozen times, and both retreated. What powerful strength! Wu Zifeng was shocked. The cultivation of this nether dragon beast king should be at the first stage of the true god realm, but its strength was actually not weaker than his. It should be known that Wu Zifeng was a top genius. His divine power was a sacred grade divine power, and his combat power was far beyond his peers. However, this nether dragon beast king could fight him head-on. Buzz! On the other side, Lu Ming had also rushed over. At this moment, he had triggered the battle character formula to triple his combat strength and raised his abilities to the peak. The first move of the 3 apocalyptic strikes, Skybreaking. Lu Ming immediately used his strongest move. The sword radiance expanded and pierced the nether dragon's neck as if it could shatter the void. Roar! The nether dragon roared and turned its head to avoid being hit in its vital parts. It took Lu Ming's attack head-on with its head. Boom! There was a terrifying boom. Lu Ming was pushed back by a force and he retreated quickly. However, the nether dragon beast king was also pushed back. A shallow crack appeared on its forehead, but it was not cut open. Its defensive power was too shocking. Lu Ming's all-out attack could not even break through the defense of the nether dragon beast king. The nether dragon beast king's defense is too strong. We can't break through it with our attacks. We can only kill it by attacking its vital points. We can restrain it together and then take the opportunity to attack its vital points. Wu Zifeng transmitted his voice to Lu Ming and Yu Linglong. Lu Ming and Yu Linglong nodded. The 3 of them formed a triangle and surrounded the nether dragon beast king. The nether dragon beast king was not afraid at all. Its eyes became even more ferocious. With a roar, it pounced towards Lu Ming. The nether dragon beast king kept staring at Lu Ming. It was obvious that it was because of the nether dragon blood curse. Kill! Lu Ming roared fearlessly and charged at the nether dragon beast king. At the same time, Yu Linglong and Wu Zifeng also made their moves. They used their divine skills and attacked the nether dragon beast king. The 2 sides started a chaotic battle. In terms of offensive power, the 3 of them working together could completely suppress the nether dragon beast king. However, the nether dragon beast king's defense was too shocking. It only needed to avoid its neck and let Lu Ming and the others attack its other parts. Then, it would seize the opportunity to counterattack. Therefore, the 2 sides were tied for a while. After exchanging dozens of moves, there was no clear winner. Lu Ming, Zifeng, I'll use my full strength to trap it. You guys take the chance to attack its vital parts. At that moment, Yu Linglong sent a voice transmission to Lu Ming and Wu Zifeng. Then, she waved her hand and kept the combat sword, replacing it with 2 soft whips. Heaven and Earth Net! Yu Linglong shouted. Her hands formed a divine gesture. The 2 soft whips were like 2 long snakes dancing. They interweaved and formed a huge net that enveloped the nether dragon beast king. In an instant, the nether dragon beast king was covered in it. Roar! The nether dragon beast king let out a deafening roar and started to struggle violently. It waved its sharp claws, causing the giant net to twist and shake. Attack! Yu Linglong shouted. Heavenly Star Strike! Break the sky! Lu Ming and Wu Zifeng used their strongest killing moves at the same time, aiming for the nether dragon beast king's vital points. Chapter 2703 The word, Quant. 1. Tai 2 extremely bright sword radiances pierced towards the nether dragon beast king's neck. Their power was terrifying. However, Wu Zifeng's sword light was more powerful. After all, Wu Zifeng was also a top heaven's favorite. He controlled divine grade divine power and his cultivation had even reached the first stage of true god. Although Lu Ming controlled the ruler's divine power and cultivated the universe thousand Tao scripture at the same time, he had cultivated the other 3 king grade divine powers and his divine power was extremely strong. In addition, the battle formula tripled his combat power. However, he was only at the 5th level of the void god realm. Even if he combined all his advantages, it wouldn't be enough to make up for the huge gap in cultivation. Therefore, the nether dragon beast king was more concerned about Wu Zifeng's attack. It used all its strength to turn its head to avoid its vital parts, and then waved out a sharp claw to grab Wu Zifeng's long sword. However, in this case, his weakness was exposed to Lu Ming. "Kill, die!" Lu Ming shouted. He became one with his sword, and the sword radiance stabbed the Nether Dragon Beast King's neck. It was a success. At that moment, Lu Ming, Yu Linglong, and Wu Zifeng's eyes lit up. Something's wrong. However, Lu Ming felt that something was amiss. When his combat sword stabbed the Nether Dragon Beast King's neck, it did not hit its vital point as he had expected. Instead, it was blocked. Lu Ming felt as if he had stabbed into an iron wall. Ding! Ding! A crisp sound rang out. Then, the Nether Dragon Beast King's neck emerged and exploded with a terrifying force. Lu Ming's body trembled violently and he was sent flying. He only stopped after flying for more than 100 miles. He felt his blood and qi churning in his body, as if his body was about to crack. How is that possible? Lu Ming was extremely shocked. Wasn't the Nether Dragon Beast King's neck a vital point? However, when he stabbed the Nether Dragon Beast King's neck with his sword, he could not pierce it at all. Not only that, but a terrifying power had also exploded. The power of this power had simply exceeded the Nether Dragon Beast King's own strength. Lu Ming could not figure it out at all. Could it be that the Nether Dragon Beast King had no vital parts? How could they fight then? Roar! 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 After being stabbed in the neck by Lu Ming, the Nether Dragon Beast King seemed to be completely enraged. It roared continuously, and the layer of light on its body became even brighter. Roar! Suddenly, the Nether Dragon Beast King roared. It opened its mouth and spat out a beam of light. The all-encompassing net that Yu Linglong had condensed was shattered by this force. Yu Linglong's delicate body trembled and she spat out a mouthful of blood. Her body retreated rapidly, her face pale. Roar! The Nether Dragon Beast King continued to roar, and another pillar of light blasted towards Yu Linglong. Linglong, be careful. Wu Zifeng came to Yu Linglong's side in time and dodged the light pillar with Yu Linglong. Boom! The light beam struck the canyon's wall, causing it to explode. A huge gap appeared, and the rocks in the gap were turned into ashes. Terrifying, what a terrifying power! Lu Ming, Yu Linglong, and Wu Zifeng's expressions changed. The light pillar that the Nether Dragon Beast King had shot out was shockingly powerful. It was far stronger than the Nether Dragon Beast King's own power, and it was not something they could withstand. The Nether Dragon Beast King actually had such a killing move. Roar! 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 The Nether Dragon Beast King roared continuously, and beams of light shot out of its mouth toward Lu Ming, Yu Linglong, and the other two. The three of them didn't dare to take it head-on and could only use their movement techniques to dodge. This canyon, this piece of land, was blasted into a huge pit. It was a mess. The Nether Dragon Beast King was simply invincible. Its entire body was impervious to swords and spears, and its attack power was astonishing. Even if an existence above the fourth stage of True God Realm came, they would most likely not be able to do anything to this Nether Dragon Beast King. This kind of attack consumes a lot of energy. We just have to avoid it for a while. When its energy is exhausted, it will die. Yu Linglong transmitted her voice. Lu Ming and Wu Zifeng nodded. They naturally understood this logic. They guessed that the attack of the Nether Dragon Beast King was an explosive attack. It consumed a shocking amount of energy, and the Nether Dragon Beast King would not be able to last long. The three of them dodged with all their might. As long as the other party's energy was exhausted, wouldn't they be slaughtered? Time flew by, and 10 minutes said. Lu Ming and the other two had extremely ugly expressions. The Nether Dragon Beast King had been attacking like this for 10 minutes. It had shot out at least 1,000 light pillars. However, it showed no signs of stopping, nor did it show any signs of exhaustion. How was this possible? The three of them were dumbfounded. This was simply against common sense. The energy of the Nether Dragon Beast King seemed to be endless. This freak, let's retreat. Yu Linglong was already thinking of retreating. Lu Ming and Wu Zifeng were helpless and unwilling to give up. There were still many Nether Dragon cores at the scene that had not been taken out. If they left just like that, they would suffer a great loss. However, in the face of such an abnormal Nether Dragon Beast King, they could only retreat. The three of them gathered and flew in one direction. However, the Nether Dragon Beast King had no intention of letting them go. It chased after them while roaring. Its mouth was like a machine gun, and it spat out a beam of light with terrifying power. The three of them quickly dodged. This way, the Nether Dragon Beast King caught up to them again. The three of them had ugly expressions. They wanted to leave, but they couldn't. What to do? The three of them quickly thought of countermeasures. At this moment, Lu Ming's expression changed slightly. Because at this moment, he felt that the word battle in his sea of consciousness was shining slightly, and a strange aura was spreading out. At this moment, Lu Ming felt a chill in his eyes. It was because there was a surge of energy in the word battle that surged into Lu Ming's eyes. When the energy surged into Lu Ming's eyes, he immediately realized that there was something strange about the Nether Dragon Beast King's body. On the neck of the Nether Dragon Beast King, there was a bright ball of light that seemed to contain terrifying energy. The reason why the Nether Dragon Beast King was able to continuously shoot out light pillars was because of the energy provided by this ball of light. Previously, Lu Ming could not see it at all. He could only see it after the energy from the word battle surged into his eyes. The next moment, Lu Ming's mouth was wide open in shock. He had seen that ball of light clearly. The source of the ball of light was actually a word. It looked like the word quant. One, Tai, the word quant. One, Tai, for energy. Looking at the words, it was very similar to Lu Ming's battle. It can't be, could it be that the quant one, Tai word and the battle word have the same origin? That's why the battle word in my sea of consciousness reacted. Lu Ming dodged the attacks of the Nether Dragon Beast King while he pondered. At this moment, the battle character in his sea of consciousness was becoming more and more resplendent. In the end, it started to shine. At the same time, Lu Ming's sharp senses caught the measure word on the Nether Dragon Beast King's neck vibrating. It seemed to have sensed the battle word in Lu Ming's body. Only Lu Ming could sense all of this. Yu Linglong and Wu Zifeng could not see or sense anything. All of this happened in the blink of an eye. Chapter 2704 Words turned into spirits. Lu Ming finally understood. The reason why the Nether Dragon Beast King was so powerful and its energy seemed to be endless was entirely because of the word quant. One, Tai. It was also because of this quant one, Tai that the Nether Dragon Beast King's neck, which was originally a vital point, became a non-vital point. It could even explode with astonishing power. I can take down this quant one, Tai word. At this moment, Lu Ming suddenly had this thought in his mind. There was no reason for this. However, this thought was very strong. Lu Ming had a strong feeling that as long as he got close to it, he could borrow the aura of the battle word to remove the quant one, Tai word. Let's take a gamble. Lu Ming made a decision. Miss Linglong, Brother Wu, can you help me hold back the Nether Dragon Beast King? I have a way to break its defense. Lu Ming sent a voice transmission to Yu Linglong and Wu Zifeng. You have a way. Yu Linglong and Wu Zifeng were both a little surprised. Not bad. Lu Ming nodded. Alright, then we'll help you hold it back. Well, give it a shot. Wu Zifeng was very decisive and directly nodded. Attack. Yu Linglong charged directly at the Nether Dragon Beast King. Her figure flashed extremely fast, and the sky was filled with her figure. She successfully dodged the Nether Dragon Beast King's attack. Wu Zifeng also used his body technique and rushed over. Yu Linglong and Wu Zifeng's attacks had successfully attracted the Nether Dragon Beast King's attention. It attacked Yu Linglong and Wu Zifeng with even more attacks. Lu Ming took the opportunity to charge at the Nether Dragon Beast King. Heart of the Bright Moon. Yu Linglong shouted as she approached the Nether Dragon Beast King. She was going all out and had used a terrifying secret technique. With her cultivation base, she couldn't use this secret skill. After using it, she would be injured. But at this moment, he could only take a gamble. A full moon suddenly appeared and pressed down on the Nether Dragon Beast King. The ninefold divine mountain. Wu Zifeng also used a secret technique. And NBSP his body seemed to become as heavy as a mountain. Divine power gushed out, transforming into a Siv mountain that pressed down on God King Dark Dragon. The two of them used their secret techniques at the same time, causing the body of the Nether Dragon Beast King to stiffen and stop in midair. Lu Ming, attack! Yu Linglong shouted. The Nether Dragon Beast King's body continued to burst with terrifying energy, which rushed in all directions, trying to break Yu Linglong and Wu Zifeng's secret skill. Their secret skills started to shake violently. With their cultivation, they couldn't hold on for long. Buzz! At this moment, Lu Ming rushed to the Nether Dragon Beast King's side. However, Lu Ming put away his sword and reached out with one hand to grab the Nether Dragon Beast King's neck. Yu Linglong and Wu Zifeng were extremely surprised. Previously, Lu Ming's full-force attack with his combat sword could not even break through the Nether Dragon Beast King's defense. Now, he had to grab it with his bare hands. How was this possible? Although Yu Linglong and Wu Zifeng were very puzzled, they could only choose to believe Lu Ming at this moment. The word, battle, is all up to you. Lu Ming thought to himself. As Lu Ming's claw approached, the word, battle in his sea of consciousness emitted a dazzling glow and a stream of energy surged into Lu Ming's palm. Pfft! Lu Ming's palm pierced the neck of the Nether Dragon Beast King. It was a success. Lu Ming was overjoyed. Roar! At that moment, the Nether Dragon Beast King let out an earth-shaking roar. It struggled madly, and then a terrifying energy burst out from its body. This energy was like a shock wave that could destroy everything. Bang! Bang! Yu Linglong and Wu Zifeng's secret skill collapsed directly. Their bodies trembled violently as they were hit by this terrifying force. Their bodies flew out like cannon. And fell to the ground. They slid on the ground for a long distance, coughing blood, and cracks appeared on their bodies. The two of them were severely injured at the same time, and their auras were weak. Grab it! At the moment when the Nether Dragon Beast King released the shock wave, Lu Ming roared and made a desperate grab. He successfully grabbed the measure word on the Nether Dragon Beast King's neck. Then, Lu Ming was also hit by the shock wave and his body was thrown backward. Even though Lu Ming had activated the 9-stage Crimson Gold Armor, the Crimson Gold Armor shattered instantly. Lu Ming's body slammed heavily against the wall of the canyon and he was severely injured. Roar! 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 The Nether Dragon Beast King stood in the air and roared continuously. Its aura was like that of a madman. Yu Linglong and Wu Zifeng's faces turned pale. At this moment, they no longer had the power to fight back. If the Nether Dragon Beast King continued to attack, they would most likely die here. Fortunately, after a few roars, the Spirit Dragon Beast King's aura rapidly weakened. Then, its huge body fell to the ground and shattered a huge rock with a boom. He was dead. The Nether Dragon Beast King was dead, without a trace of its aura. Yu Linglong and Wu Zifeng often let out a breath. They had succeeded. They understood that they had succeeded. He had finally killed the Nether Dragon Beast King. Linglong, are you alright? Wu Zifeng staggered to Yu Linglong's side and asked with concern. I'm fine. Let's hurry up and treat our injuries. Yu Linglong said. She took out a healing pill and swallowed it to start healing. The Nether Dragon Beast, Li Su, was dead, but this place was not safe. At this moment, they were all seriously injured. If other people, nether dragon beasts, or the dragon bone flower came, they would all be in danger. At this moment, Lu Ming had already forgotten to recuperate. He was looking into his sea of consciousness. After Lu Ming grabbed the quant. One Thai word, it fused into his palm and ran to the side of the battle word. It flashed and emitted a dazzling radiance. The aura is the same. It's almost the same as the aura of the battle character. They are definitely of the same origin. Lu Ming had many thoughts in his mind. Brat, why are you sizing me up so carefully? What are you trying to do? Suddenly, a voice rang in Lu Ming's mind. Who is it? Who's talking? Lu Ming was shocked. He quickly looked around but did not see anyone. If I'm the one talking, then who else is? Haven't you been sizing me up? The figure rang out again. This time, Lu Ming finally realized where the sound came from. It was from the word quant. One Thai. Oh my God, my words have turned into spirits. Lu Ming shouted loudly, causing Yu Linglong and Wu Zifeng to cast sidelong glances at him, feeling puzzled. One word, and it could actually speak. At this moment, Lu Ming was in a mess. What do you mean? I'm one of the original ancient characters, so I'm naturally spiritual. It's normal for me to be able to speak. The voice rang out again. Lu Ming was 100% sure that it was the word quant. One Thai. It really is an ancient word of essence. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. He had heard Bai Ye mention the word battle before. It was one of the ancient words of the origin. The word measure in front of him was also one of the ancient origin words. Lu Ming's heart was thumping. He had a deep understanding of the profoundness of the battle character. It was simply endless. Chapter 2705 Heaven-defying, Quant. One Thai word comprehending the battle symbol art would allow his attacks to be strengthened and his battle awareness to become stronger. No matter what kind of godly skill it was, under the enhancement of the battle symbol art, its power would increase by a level. In addition, as he continued to comprehend the battle formula, he could trigger double, triple, or even 4, 5, or even more times of combat power. It was infinitely mysterious and unfathomable. As for the word measure, it was also one of the ancient words of origin. What kind of mystery could it have? Lu Ming was filled with antic. 1 Asian. Brat, you're lucky. I've stayed on that nether dragon for countless years. That beast doesn't have the slightest intelligence, how can it be worthy of me? There's no future at all. I just happened to run into you guys and saw that you were controlling Zhan, so I left the nether dragon and ran to you. Otherwise, how could you have killed the nether dragon so easily? Liang continued. Lu Ming rejoiced inwardly. It turned out that Liang did not think highly of the nether dragon beast king. Furthermore, because Lu Ming had mastered the battle formula, the Liang formula had voluntarily left the nether dragon beast king. Otherwise, they would be in real danger. Oh right, since you have a spirit and can communicate, why can't the battle formula communicate? Lu Ming asked curiously. Who says he doesn't know how to communicate? He's just trying to be coy, and he's pretending to be profound. The quant. 1 Thai formula said in disdain. You talk too much nonsense. Suddenly, a deep male voice sounded. It was clearly from the battle symbol art. Lu Ming was flabbergasted. The battle symbol art really had spirituality and could speak. However, Lu Ming had obtained the battle symbol art for so many years but he had never heard it speak. In the past, he had thought that the battle character formula was only an ancient character and would not have any spirituality. Now, he realized that he was completely wrong. Hey, what did you just say? You dare to say that I'm talking nonsense? I dare you to say that again. The Liang character roared in anger, its voice sharp. Fortunately, these voices only rang in Lu Ming's mind. People outside could not hear them. Nonsense. The deep voice of the battle symbol art sounded again. You. I'm too lazy to bother with you. The quant. 1 Thai formula seemed to be quite angry. The words were shaking, which was very human-like. Lu Ming found it rather interesting. By the way, the battle formula can increase one's combat power. What's the mystery of your quant? 1 Thai formula. Lu Ming finally could not help but ask what he was thinking. I've been very useful. Kid, let me tell you. Each ancient word of origin has its own profoundness. Since old general is using the word measure, it's naturally related to energy, the quant. 1 Thai formula said. Is it related to energy? Lu Ming was surprised. That's right. That nether dragon was attacking us non-stop. Did you think that its energy seemed to be endless? The quant. 1 Thai formula said. That's right. Is it because of you? Lu Ming's eyes lit up and he asked. Of course it's because of me. My first function is that you can store your cultivation energy in my body. When you need it, you can directly borrow this power. I'll store as much as you have. The quant. 1 Thai formula said. You can actually do this? Lu Ming's eyes immediately glowed and his heart was pounding. He now had a weakness. His cultivation was too weak, and his divine power was not strong enough. When he used divine skills, he had to calculate and not use them recklessly. Otherwise, his divine power would be easily exhausted. But with the measure formula, as long as he stored more Shen power in the measure formula, he would not have to worry about running out of Shen power in the battle. In that case, his strength would increase by another level, because he could use big moves at any time. He finally knew why the Nether Dragon Beast King's energy light pillar could shoot out non-stop. It was because it had stored a large amount of energy. Lu Ming's eyes were burning with Pa-S, Shaun. Brat, do you think that this is all of my profoundness? You're gravely mistaken. The slightly proud voice of the quant. 1 Thai formula sounded again. What other mysteries do you have? Lu Ming's heart was beating wildly. I'm telling you, I can absorb many different kinds of energy. All kinds of energy, when absorbed into my body, can be transformed into your Shen power, and can directly improve your cultivation. The quant. 1 Thai formula said again. What? This time, Lu Ming was so shocked that he almost screamed. The quant. 1 Thai formula could actually absorb different types of energy and then turn them into the Shen power he needed, directly increasing his cultivation. This function was simply heaven-defying. How is it? Aren't my functions heaven-defying? Isn't your battle word a lot stronger? The Ouyang character chuckled, feeling extremely proud. This, Lu Ming did not know how to answer. Although the quant. 1 Thai formula was heaven-defying, the battle formula could continuously multiply one's combat power when cultivated to a profound level. It was also heaven-defying. It was not easy to compare the two as they each had their own strengths. Kid, you're lucky. I'll stay here with you for the time being. If you follow me, I'll guarantee you a good life and become an expert who can dominate the universe. The Ouyang character muttered with a chuckle. You seem to have followed many people in the past, but they are all dead. So, it's better to be low-key. At this moment, the deep voice of the battle symbol art sounded. Hey, you're deliberately making things difficult for me, right? Are you not convinced? Come, if you're not convinced, let's have a fight. The Ouyang character formula shouted. Lu Ming had a headache. The quant. 1 Thai formula was indeed heaven-defying. However, the only disadvantage was that it spoke too much. It seemed that it would be difficult to be at peace in the future. Not good. At this moment, Lu Ming suddenly felt a sense of danger. He felt a powerful energy in the sky crashing down on him. Without thinking, Lu Ming mustered all his remaining strength and jumped to the side. Boom! A burst of fist force hit the spot where Lu Ming was just a moment ago, blasting a huge pit in the ground. Your spiritual sense is sharp. You can still avoid my move even with an injured body. A voice filled with killing intent came from the sky. Mad Dao. Lu Ming muttered, his face gloomy. The one who sneaked an attack on him was the little tyrant, Kuang Dao, who was ranked 5th on the virtual god ranking list. Lu Ming, I'm here today to take your life. Kuang Dao shouted. His eyes swept across the scene. When he saw the corpses of the nether dragon beast and the dragon bone flower on the ground, his eyes became extremely fiery. Lu Ming and the rest had actually killed so many nether dragon beasts and dragon bone flowers. He was shocked. At the same time, he was overjoyed. He knew that he had made the right decision to come. Although Lu Ming and the rest had killed a large number of nether dragon beasts and dragon bone flowers, they were severely injured. You're a defeated opponent, yet you still dare to appear in front of me. You can stay here forever. Lu Ming said coldly. Ha ha ha, don't try to scare me. You're strong enough to kill so many nether dragons, but you're all heavily injured now. You can't even use 10% of your strength, and you still want to kill me? Kuang Dao laughed and was extremely arrogant. Chapter 2706 Direct Breakthrough. Kuang Dao laughed, his eyes were cold and filled with cruelty. Boom! Then, a powerful and shocking aura burst out from Kuang Dao's body. True God. The aura of the true God realm burst out from Kuang Dao's body. Apparently, he wasn't an ethereal God realm expert. He had already broken through to the true God realm. This was normal as some of the people who were ranked higher on the virtual god ranking list had already reached the limit of virtual god level and could have broken through to true god level a long time ago. However, for the sake of the Dark Dragon secret realm that only opened once every 100,000 years, they had all suppressed their cultivation. Once they entered the Dark Dragon secret realm, these people would all be able to break through. Kuang Dao was such a person. This is terrible. Yu Linglong and Wu Zifeng's faces also changed greatly. Maniac was a top genius. After breaking through to the true god realm, his battle strength would be even more shocking. Ha ha ha, Lu Ming, are you feeling despair now? The three of you will be the ones to die today. Kuang Dao laughed and his violent aura pressed toward Lu Ming. He wanted to see Lu Ming's expression of despair and even see Lu Ming begging for mercy. Unfortunately, he was destined to be disappointed. Lu Ming merely frowned slightly. At this moment, Lu Ming was rapidly thinking of countermeasures. You're pretending to be calm. I want you to kneel in front of me. Lu Ming's expression made Kuang Dao very unhappy. He took a step forward and the void trembled. Then, he threw a punch. A fist force as huge as a mountain came crashing down on Lu Ming. Whoosh! Lu Ming took out a long spear, which was a level 1 middle-grade divine artifact, and thrust it forward. Boom! The long spear struck the fist force and a loud boom erupted. Then, the spear ray collapsed and Lu Ming was sent flying by the powerful force, sliding thousands of meters away. Humph, now you still want to resist me, you don't know what's good for you. Kuang Dao coldly snorted. Now that he had broken through to the true god level, his confidence had increased greatly. Even if Lu Ming was not injured, he was confident that he could suppress Lu Ming, let alone Lu Ming who was seriously injured. Back then, he had been injured by Lu Ming and had to escape, leaving Lan Shang and Huang Qingan behind. This was a great humiliation to him. Back then, he had been injured by Lu Ming and had to escape, leaving Lan Shang and Huang Qingan behind. This was a great humiliation to him. Today, he would make Lu Ming pay 10 times the price. Damn it, my physical body is too injured. I can't even activate the double combat power, let alone the triple combat power. Lu Ming steadied his body. Many thoughts ran through his mind as he thought of countermeasures. Previously, in order to deal with the Nether Dragon Beast King, Lu Ming had been hit by its energy. His physical body had been severely injured and he could not even withstand the double combat strength. This was because triggering a double or even triple combat power required a very high physical body. If one's physical body was not strong enough, they would not be able to withstand it and would be torn apart by the powerful force. Now that Lu Ming's physical body was injured, he could not hold on either. Lu Ming, Yu Linglong and Wu Zifeng were both very anxious. Unfortunately, their injuries were more serious and they could not help at all. Kid, don't panic. There's still some energy in my body. I'll transfer it into your body now. Not only will it heal your injuries quickly, but it'll also help you break through in a short time. At this moment, the voice of the Quant 1 Tai formula sounded. Really? Lu Ming was overjoyed. Of course it's true. I find you pleasing to the eye, but am determined to cultivate you into a strong expert. How can I let you fall just like that? Kid, pay attention. As soon as the measure formula was spoken, Lu Ming felt a surge of energy emerging from the measure formula. This energy was extremely pure, as if it had no impurities and could be easily refined. Refine, Lu Ming circulated the heaven and earth thousand Tao scripture at full force to refine this energy. In an instant, large ses of energy were refined and seeped into the depths of Lu Ming's body. Lu Ming's injuries were recovering at an alarming rate. In his body, the 4 divine flames, which had been somewhat exhausted, were also burning fiercely and growing stronger. Lu Ming's aura suddenly became stronger. What? Quang Dao also felt it and his eyes focused. This kid is evil, let's cripple him first. Quang Dao didn't waste any more time and immediately attacked. His fist force was like a mountain as it rumbled towards Lu Ming. Buzz! The long spear in Lu Ming's hands trembled continuously. At this moment, Lu Ming had activated the double combat power. A ray of spear light shot up and collided with the fist force of the mad path. This time, Lu Ming blocked Quang Dao's fist force. I blocked it. Yu Linglong and Wu Zifeng's eyes lit up. Quang Dao, even if you've broken through, your combat strength is only a so-so. Lu Ming's eyes were like stars. His aura became higher and higher, and soon, it reached its peak. This kid. Die. Quang Dao was shocked and then furious. His Shin power boiled and he used a Shin technique. Tyrannical Divine Fist. Quang Dao punched out with both of his fists continuously. The fist force was like a falling comet. It was much more terrifying than when he was at the virtual god realm. However, Lu Ming's current combat strength was much stronger than before. The 3 apocalyptic strikes had already broken through to the second stage. Whoosh! Lu Ming cast the first move of the 3 apocalyptic strikes, Air Blast. The spear's radiance burst forth and shot up against the sky, continuously bombarding Quang Dao's fist force. However, the fist force was destroyed by Lu Ming. Lu Ming's figure rapidly approached Quang Dao. Suddenly, Lu Ming's spear momentum changed and became more powerful. The battle formula tripled his combat power, activated. Boom! Lu Ming's spear swept out. The spear's gleam was as huge as a mountain, bringing with it a shocking power. This was Lu Ming's current peak combat strength. This level of combat strength made Quang Dao's pupils contract. Quang Dao didn't hesitate to use the secret skill to increase his combat strength. His combat strength instantly doubled. Boom! 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 The 2 of them raised their combat strength to the extreme and continued to exchange blows in the air. In the blink of an eye, the 2 of them had exchanged dozens of moves. To be honest, Mad Dao was very powerful. He was already 5th on the virtual god ranking list. Now that he had broken through to the first stage of True God Realm, his combat strength had increased by a huge amount. He was definitely not comparable to an ordinary first stage True God. One should know that when Quang Dao was at the 9th stage of the ethereal god realm, he could already defeat a first stage True God. Now that he had broken through to the True God realm, he could even kill a second stage True God, let alone a first stage True God. Defeating and killing were 2 different concepts. Therefore, after the battle, Lu Ming was still at a disadvantage and was being suppressed. Hurry, 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 Yu Linglong and Wu Zifeng were also extremely anxious. They were trying their best to refine the divine healing pill, trying to recover some strength as soon as possible. As long as the two of them recovered some of their strength, they would not have to fear Kuang Dao. Lu Ming, go to H-E-L-L, go to H-E-L-L. Kuang Dao roared. At this moment, he was extremely shocked. Lu Ming's abilities were much stronger than the last time they had fought. He was only at 5th level Void God Realm and he was so powerful. It was simply unheard of. He had thought that he would be able to suppress Lu Ming easily after he had broken through to true God level, but the truth was not so. Of course, he did not know that Lu Ming did not have the time to double his combat power when they fought the last time. Moreover, Lu Ming was only at the first stage of the 3 apocalyptic strikes. Now that he was going all out, his combat power was far from what it was before. Chapter 2707 7th level Void God Realm. Lu Ming and the Mad Priest exchanged dozens of moves in a row. Lu Ming retreated hundreds of miles. However, at this moment, the energy in Lu Ming's body surged and surged continuously. The energy that gushed out from the light symbol art was too strong and extremely pure. It could be absorbed and refined quickly. The divine energy in Lu Ming's body grew stronger and stronger. The 4 divine flames in his dantian grew brighter and brighter. In just a short while, Lu Ming's cultivation had reached its peak. The peak of the 5th level Void God Realm. Breakthrough. Lu Ming growled and circulated the universe 1000 Dao arts to break through to the 6th level of the Void God Realm. Boom! There was a loud explosion in Lu Ming's body. Then, Lu Ming's aura suddenly soared, breaking through the peak and reaching another peak. 6th level Void God Realm. Lu Ming's cultivation level had successfully reached 6th level Void God Realm. His divine power had increased by a large margin, and his combat strength had also increased by a large margin. Wang! The long spear trembled and swept out. The spear light expanded and destroyed the 9 fist forces of Kuang Dao. Kuang Dao's expression changed. He threw a punch with all his might and it collided with Lu Ming's long spear. Thump! With A.M.U.F. fled explosion, the sky trembled violently. Then, Kuang Dao's body also trembled violently as he was sent flying by a terrifying force, retreating dozens of miles. Your cultivation base. How is that possible? Kuang Dao roared in disbelief. Lu Ming had clearly been severely injured earlier. He would not have sensed wrongly. However, all of a sudden, Lu Ming's injuries were completely healed. Moreover, the combat strength that erupted from him was much stronger than the last time they had fought. He was already in disbelief. However, Lu Ming's cultivation had actually broken through during the battle. This was simply a miracle. He must have used some kind of terrifying secret technique. It's the final radiance of the setting sun. He definitely won't be able to last long. Kill, kill! Kuang Dao roared in his heart. His eyes were extremely ferocious as he charged at Lu Ming again, using his trump card. You're the one who's going to die today. Lu Ming said coldly. He had just broken through and there seemed to be an endless amount of energy in his body. The most shocking thing was that his cultivation level had not stopped increasing. It was still rising and he was charging towards 7th tier Void God Realm. The energy that emerged from the Quant 1 Tai formula was too strong. Until now, it was still far from being refined. Whoosh! Lu Ming cast the first move of the 3 apocalyptic strikes, Air Blast. A bright spear light pierced through the air and headed towards Kuang Dao. Boom! The two of them were like 2 meteors, crashing into each other. Then, Kuang Dao was sent flying again. His body kept shaking, and a wound appeared on his body, blood flowing out. After Lu Ming broke through to 6th level Void God level, his combat strength was completely above that of the Mad Dao. After Lu Ming repelled Kuang Dao, he did not give the other party any chance to catch his breath. He continued to attack the other party. The spear's radiance swept across and enveloped Kwang Dao. Boom! 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 The two of them collided continuously and exchanged dozens of moves in an instant. Kwang Dao was completely outmatched and retreated. Damn it, Kwang Dao roared in his heart. He was extremely unwilling. He had come to kill Lu Ming. He did not expect that in the end, he would still be suppressed by Lu Ming. He was so aggrieved that he wanted to vomit blood. He began to think of retreating. Lu Ming, you've killed so many of our men. You're dead for sure. Just you wait. I'll settle this score with you. After saying that, Kwang Dao began to attack crazily, wanting to escape. You won't be able to leave today. Lu Ming said coldly. He thrust his spear at Kwang Dao continuously. But Kwang Dao started to fight with all his might. He even burned his Shen power to charge forward. He was about to be pushed out. Lu Ming, just you wait. It won't be long before I make you die without a burial ground. Kwang Dao roared. However, at this moment, the aura on Lu Ming's body suddenly rose sharply. The terrifying aura was like 10,000 waves that pressed down on Kwang Dao. Kwang Dao's pupils dilated and he shouted hysterically, 7th level Void God Realm. Impossible. This is impossible. Impossible, he was scared silly. Lu Ming had just broken through to the 6th level of the Void God Realm, but now, he was about to break through to the 7th level of the Void God Realm. The word terrifying could no longer be used to describe this. It was understandable that he had broken through to the 6th level of the Void God Realm previously. Lu Ming's cultivation base might have reached the peak of the 5th level Void God Realm a long time ago. It was not impossible for him to break through after ACCU, adding a lot of experience. However, he had just broken through to the 6th level of the Void God Realm not long ago. Now, he had broken through to the 7th level. What was going on? In the distance, Yu Linglong and Wu Zifeng were also looking at each other with a dumbfounded expression. Shouldn't one's cultivation progress be done step by step? How could one break through continuously like this? Boom! At this moment, Lu Ming's cultivation level had reached 7th tier Void God Realm, and his combat strength had reached the peak. He had completely crushed Kwang Dao. Boom! The long spear swept out, breaking through all of Kwang Dao's attacks and defenses. It whipped his body, causing him to scream in pain. Half of his body was smashed, and his body was sent flying like a cannonball. He spat out a large amount of blood, and was almost split into two. His chi was dispirited, and he had been seriously injured. Kill! Lu Ming charged at Kwang Dao directly. He became one with the spear and turned into a dazzling spear ray, piercing toward Kwang Dao's glabella. No, Kwang Dao was scared out of his wits and retreated frantically, trying to dodge. However, now that Lu Ming's cultivation had reached 7th tier Void God level and he was severely injured, how could he possibly dodge? Pfft! The spear radiance pierced through Kwang Dao's forehead and destroyed his soul. Kwang Dao, who was ranked 5th on the virtual god ranking list, had fallen. After killing Kwang Dao, Lu Ming put away Kwang Dao's storage ring and his spear. Then, he sat cross-legged and circulated his cultivation to stabilize his realm. He had broken through 2 levels of cultivation at once. This speed was too shocking. He needed to stabilize it. 2 hours later, Yu Linglong and Wu Zifeng's injuries were more or less stabilized. They came to Lu Ming's side to protect him. 3 days had said before Lu Ming ended his cultivation. His cultivation had completely stabilized at the 7th level of the Void God Realm. This formula is really mysterious and unpredictable. Lu Ming sighed. A wave of energy gushed out from the formula, which actually made his cultivation break through 2 levels. If this news were to spread, it would probably set off a monstrous wave. Kid, now you know how powerful I am. The proud voice of the Quant 1. Tai formula sounded. It's indeed powerful. I wonder when you'll be able to give me another wave of energy. Lu Ming said with a face full of smiles. Of course, he communicated with his mind so that Yu Linglong and Wu Zifeng could not hear him. Pfft, you wish. I need to absorb a large amount of energy and refine it before I can pass it to you. The energy from before has been used up. In the future, if you find a treasure with a large amount of energy for me to devour, then I will have energy for you. Do you understand? The unhappy voice of the Quant 1. Tai formula sounded. Lu Ming nodded with a bitter smile. So that was the case. However, this was normal. If he could transfer energy to him infinitely, his cultivation would continue to soar and he would reach true God or divine realm. Chapter 2708 The Rainbow Divine Stone. He shook his head and got rid of this unrealistic idea. Cultivation indeed needed to be done step by step. This time, he had broken through 2 levels at once. Even if the Quant 1. Tai formula still had energy, he could not continue to improve and needed time to stabilize it. However, since the Quant 1. Tai formula had such a heaven-defying effect, it should not be wasted. How should he find a treasure that contained powerful energy for the Quant 1. Tai formula to absorb? Lu Ming started to think. Brat, even if I don't have a treasure that contains powerful energy, I can still absorb the energy from the outside world at all times and slowly store it. It's just that the speed is much slower. The Quant 1. Tai formula said again. It can be done like this. Lu Ming was elated. He sensed carefully and realized that the energy between heaven and earth was slowly gathering towards him and surging into the measure formula. Although it was slow, it was still very impressive after ACCU mulating for a long time. Kid, if you want to ACCU mulate energy as soon as possible, I can guide you to a place in this secret realm. There is a treasure there. If I absorb and refine it, I guarantee that it will improve your cultivation by a large margin. The Quant 1. Tai formula continued. There's such a treasure. Where is he? Lu Ming asked hurriedly, his heart burning with excitement. He had already tasted the sweetness just now and was looking forward to it. That place is called the Night Dragon Cave. There is a type of night dragon blood jade inside that contains terrifying energy. As long as you get it for me to refine, it'll transfer the energy to you and your cultivation will soar. The elder said. The Quant 1. Tai formula said. Alright, it'll go. It'll definitely go. Lu Ming made a decision. Who? After communicating with the Quant 1. Tai formula, Lu Ming heaved a long sigh and ended his cultivation. Lu Ming, you're actually able to break through your cultivation level continuously. You're really abnormal. When Yu Linglong saw that Lu Ming had ended his cultivation, she immediately cried out in an exaggerated manner. I was lucky. I had a fortuitous encounter in the past and ACCU mulat a wave of energy. Just now, at the critical moment, I also risked my life to burst it out. I didn't expect that I would be right and my cultivation base would improve. Lu Ming smiled. Although Lu Ming had explained it this way, Yu Linglong and Wu Zifeng were still very surprised. By the way, I know of a place in the Dark Dragon's secret realm called the Night Dragon Cave. There might be some treasures in there. Should we go there and take a look? Lu Ming changed his tone. Yes, of course we're going. Yu Linglong said. She was really curious, and once she heard that there was a treasure, there was no reason for her not to go. Of course, there was one more thing they had to do before they left, and that was the Nether Dragon's beast core. The 3 of them worked together to collect the Nether Dragon's beast core and left. However, Yu Linglong and Wu Zifeng's injuries had not fully recovered, and they had not recovered to their peak. Immediately, the 3 of them found a hidden place. Yu Linglong and Wu Zifeng focused on healing their injuries. After a few days, their injuries were fully recovered, and their cultivation and combat strength had reached their peak. At this moment, there were only 6 days left before the 3-month deadline. Under the guidance of the measure formula, Lu Ming headed toward Night Dragon Cave. Night Dragon Cave was in the depths of the Dark Dragon secret realm. As the three of them advanced, there were still dark dragon beasts and dragon bone flowers charging at them continuously. They were all attracted by the dark dragon blood curse in Lu Ming's body. Of course, with Lu Ming, Yu Linglong, and Wu Zifeng's current combat strength, they could easily kill the nether dragon beasts and the dragon bone flower. Just like that, they used 3 days to reach the vicinity of Night Dragon's cave, which was pointed out by the Quant. 1. Thai formula. Along the way, they had also gained a lot. They had killed a large number of nether dragon beasts and dragon bone flowers and obtained a large number of beast cores and dragon bones. The three of them had divided them equally. The beast cores and dragon bones in Lu Ming's hands could be exchanged for 50,000 points. He had achieved his initial goal in this trip. 50,000 points were enough to exchange for the first stage of a Saint-grade divine skill. This is Night Dragon Cave. Lu Ming, could you be mistaken? Looking at the gurgling lake water in front of her, Yu Linglong was a little stunned. At this moment, in front of them was a boundless lake. Where was the cave? There's a formation here that affects our senses. Don't worry, well, just move forward. Lu Ming said. Of course, the Quant. 1. Thai formula had told him this. The three of them stepped forward. After walking for a while, they suddenly felt a barrier in front of them, like a layer of bubble. Don't use your divine power to block it. The stronger the divine power, the stronger the barrier. We can't get in. We can get in without using divine power. Lu Ming reminded him again. Yu Linglong and Wu Zifeng nodded. They did not use their divine power to resist and stepped out directly. With a pop, the three of them seemed to have pas said through a layer of bubbles. The next moment, they arrived at a pitch-black pas sage. This. The three of them were stunned. There was really a big formation here. The ones before were all illusions. Lu Ming could not help but sigh at the wonder of the big array. The more divine power was used, the stronger the barrier would be. When ordinary people encountered such barriers, they would subconsciously use divine power. That way, they would not be able to pass through at all. Only by not using divine power could they pass through the great array. Yu Linglong and Wu Zifeng looked at Lu Ming curiously. In their hearts, Lu Ming was becoming more and more unfathomable. Is Lu Ming really an outer sect disciple who has just joined the sect? Yu Linglong blinked her big eyes and took a few more glances at Lu Ming. Of course, she was not interested in Lu Ming. She was just curious. We have to be careful. Lu Ming reminded them. The three of them concealed their auras and went deeper into the pas sage. The pas sage was silent and very long. The three of them walked for thousands of meters before they reached the end of the pas sage, arriving at a huge underground cave. The cave was empty except for an altar that attracted their attention. The altar was engraved with dense runes that looked like small true dragons that were intertwined. At the very top, there was a piece of blood jade. Inside it, there were actually many small blood dragons swimming. There were also different gemstones of different colors embedded in the other parts of the altar. That's the Rainbow Divine Stone. Suddenly, Yu Linglong cried out. Her eyes lit up as she stared at the 7-colored gemstones. Rainbow Divine Stone. Lu Ming was puzzled because he had never heard of such a gem. It's really the Rainbow Divine Stone. The Rainbow Divine Stone can be used to refine a kind of healing elixir. It has a powerful healing effect on the divine body. It can even heal the injuries of a divine realm expert. It can be sold for a lot of money. Yu Linglong's eyes lit up. Lu Ming's heart trembled. Then, his eyes lit up. If it could be refined into a healing elixir that was helpful to even sky gods, its value would definitely be very high. The higher one's cultivation was, the stronger one's divine body would be. Once injured, it would be harder to recover. Chapter 2709 The number one of the outer sect 100,000 years ago. The stronger one's cultivation was, the harder it was to recover from injuries. For example, Lu Ming had cultivated the indestructible Heaven Scroll, which was an unparalleled heavenly art in the Heaven realm. No matter how serious his injuries were, he could recover quickly. His vitality was astonishingly strong, and he was known for his immortality. However, it was only effective for those below the demigod realm. Now that Lu Ming's cultivation level had reached 7th tier void god realm, his divine body was extremely powerful. Now that he was injured, using the indestructible Heaven Scroll to heal his injuries would not have any effect at all. It was the same for the healing elixir. If it was useful to experts with high cultivation, its value would naturally be greater. The Rainbow Divine Stone could be used to refine divine pills that were useful to even sky gods. One could imagine how valuable it was. Kid, wait, don't go over. At this moment, the sound of the quant. 1 Thai formula suddenly rang out. Lu Ming jumped and hurriedly called out, wait a moment, don't go over there yet. Because at this moment, Yu Linglong and Wu Zifeng were approaching the altar to pick up the Rainbow Divine Stone. Yu Linglong and Wu Zifeng were shocked by Lu Ming's shout and stopped in their tracks. What's wrong? Yu Linglong asked. Shaking his head, Lu Ming did not say anything. In fact, he did not know what was in front of him. There's a large array in front. Once you step in, you'll probably be trapped by the large array. The quant. 1 Thai formula said. Another formation. Lu Ming furrowed his brows. The grand array of the primeval universe was far more profound than the heaven realm and the primordial realm. With Lu Ming's attainments in array techniques, he could not see through it at all. If there's a formation, how do we get the dark dragon blood jade? Lu Ming used his spirit to ask the question formula. Of course we have to find the formation core and break the formation. Hey, boring battle, you were familiar with that guy formation back then, so you should have some understanding of the formation Tao, right? Can you break the formation core and find it? The quant. 1 Thai formula against the battle formula. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. Array? Could it be another formation from the ancient word of origin? Just by hearing it, one could tell that it had an unbelievable effect on the Tao of formations. You talk too much nonsense, I'm looking for it. The deep voice of the battle symbol art sounded. Hey, what are you saying? What nonsense? Make it clear to me today, or else I won't let you off. The quant. 1 Thai formula shouted. The entire character bounced as if it was going to pounce on the battle formula. Lu Ming was speechless. One word could actually give birth to such a weird character. The battle symbol art was too lazy to pay attention to the quant. 1 Thai symbol art. It seemed to be sizing up the formation, looking for a way to break it. Ha ha ha, someone finally came. At this moment, a burst of laughter suddenly rang out in the cave. Lu Ming, Yu Linglong, and Wu Zifeng were shocked. They did not expect that there would be someone else in the cave. Who is it? Yu Linglong shouted. The three of them looked behind the altar. At this moment, a figure walked out from behind the altar. This person had actually been hiding behind the altar all this time. Just now, the altar had blocked this person's figure, and his aura had been concealed very well. They had not discovered him at all. This was a young man who looked to be in his 20s. He was very handsome and had an extraordinary bearing. Moreover, the aura from this person's body was extremely powerful. He was also in existence at the true God realm. Someone had already entered this place. Fellow junior brothers and sisters, I am Kong Ji Xing. The young man cupped his fists and said. What? You said you're a star of S.P.C.E.? It's impossible. Yu Linglong cried out in disbelief when she heard the name. Lu Ming and Wu Zifeng were a little surprised. Why did Yu Linglong have such a big reaction when she heard this name? She even looked as if it was impossible. This junior sister, I am indeed a S.P.C.E. star. The young man smiled. Ling Long, who's the star of the sky? Wu Zifeng asked. 100,000 years ago, the number one on the virtual god ranking list of the Kong Xian sect was called Kong Ji Xing. However, 100,000 years ago, when the Dark Dragon secret realm opened, Kong Ji entered the Dark Dragon secret realm and never returned. Everyone thought that he had died. Yu Linglong said. The number one virtual god ranking list from 100,000 years ago. Lu Ming and Wu Zifeng's eyes flickered. Could this person really be the star of the sky? Junior brothers and sisters, am indeed A.S.P.C.E. star. I entered the Dark Dragon secret realm 100,000 years ago, but I didn't die. I just wanted to get the treasures here, but I missed the time to get out. Junior brothers and sisters, you've come at the right time. There's a rainbow godstone and a dark dragon blood jade on this altar. They're priceless treasures, but they're hard to take off. You'll help me take them down and well split them evenly, said Empty Star. Don't believe him. There's a formation here. This kid is trapped by the formation. Once you get close to the altar, you'll be trapped by the formation as well. You'll share his burden, so he'll have a chance to break through the formation. The Quant 1 Thai formula called out. The Quant 1 Thai formula had been around for countless years. Although he was not good at formations, he still had a good eye. Wait a moment. Lu Ming stopped Yu Linglong and Wu Zifeng, who were about to make a move. He then looked at the Empty Star and said, Senior Brother Kong, since these rainbow divine stones and dark dragon blood jade are so difficult to retrieve, why don't you leave with us first and call for more helpers to help us? It'll be much easier that way. No. The treasures are limited, said Empty Star. If we call more people, how will we split it? Junior brothers and sisters, don't hesitate. I've studied this altar for 100,000 years and am very familiar with it. As long as we work together, we'll definitely be able to take the treasure. Is that so? Yu Linglong and Wu Zifeng were a little surprised by Lu Ming's half-smile. Aren't you going to hurry up and help me? The Empty Star called out, clearly a little impatient. Hee, you don't have to shout. I can already see that there's a large formation here. You've been trapped by this formation and can't get out at all. That's why you've been trapped for 100,000 years. If we go forward, we'll also be trapped by the formation. At that time, we can help you share the pressure and you can escape, right? Lu Ming smiled. What? Yu Linglong and Wu Zifeng's faces changed. Kong Ji Xing's face darkened. He did not expect Lu Ming to see through his intentions. Stop guessing. Hurry up and come over. Let's take the treasure together. Kong Ji Xing's voice started to get louder. It was filled with unquestionable authority. He was the number one on the Void God Realm ranking and the number one in the outer sect. Of course, he had his own authority. At that time, very few people in the outer sect dared to disobey him. However, Lu Ming, Yu Linglong, and Wu Zifeng were all extraordinary people. They would not give a damn about him. Not only did the three of them not advance, but they also took a few steps back. Good, very good. If you don't want to come in, then I'll pull you in. Kong Ji Xing said coldly. He completely lost his temper and a powerful aura exploded from his body. Chapter 2710 Battling the Empty Star. The Empty Star completely turned hostile. It exploded with a shocking aura that pressed towards Lu Ming and the other two like a tide. Third Stage True God Realm. Lu Ming, Yu Linglong, and Wu Zifeng's expressions changed. Kong Ji Xing's cultivation wasn't at the first stage of True God Realm, but the third stage of True God Realm. Clearly, during these years in the Dark Dragon secret realm, even if he was trapped by the formation here, his cultivation still broke through and reached the third stage of True God Realm. Schwa! 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 The Empty Star made his move. With a wave of his hand, the sky was filled with his palm prints, which enveloped Lu Ming and the other two. Attack! Yu Linglong shouted and immediately attacked. Facing the star of sky, she didn't dare to be careless. She used all her strength as soon as she attacked. At the same time, Lu Ming and Wu Zifeng made their moves as well. All sorts of attacks collided with the palm print of the star in the sky. Boom! 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 Violent rumbles came from the cave as all kinds of attacks exploded. The palm prints of the stars in the sky were destroyed one after another. In the blink of an eye, the few of them had exchanged dozens of moves. Lu Ming, Yu Linglong, and Wu Zifeng were forced to retreat. The star of the sky was indeed worthy of being the number one on the virtual god ranking list 100,000 years ago. Its combat strength was shockingly powerful and was not something that ordinary heaven's favorites could compare to. If he wasn't trapped by the formation here, his cultivation wouldn't be at the third stage of true god realm. He would have reached a shocking realm long ago. However, Lu Ming's group of three were also very powerful. When Sky Star fought with the three of them, he was also forced to take a few steps back. You have some strength. Kong Ji's eyes were filled with shock. He did not expect that Lu Ming and the other two could block his attack. 100,000 years ago, in the outer sect area of Kong Xian sect, he was unrivaled even if they were at the same level. Now, his cultivation was far above Lu Ming and the other two, but he was not able to suppress them in one go. This was beyond his expectations. Let's see how many moves you can block. Get over here. Kong Zhixing snorted and stepped forward. He reached out his palm and palm prints appeared again, blasting towards the three of them. The power of each move was stronger than before, giving people a strong pressure. Yu Linglong and Wu Zifeng's faces became very serious as they circulated their divine power to the extreme. As for Lu Ming, he was constantly triggering the battle formula. Boom! After a series of attempts, Lu Ming finally triggered the tripled combat power. Whoosh! 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 Lu Ming cast the first move of the three apocalyptic strikes, sky-piercing, and in an instant, spear lights appeared in the void like meteors, colliding with the palm print of the star in the sky. A loud boom was heard in the cave again. It had to be said that the star in the sky was indeed very powerful. Lu Ming felt a terrifying force surging towards him and he retreated quickly. The qi and blood in his body churned and he almost vomited blood. He didn't know that the empty star was even more shocked. Although he did not use his full strength just now, he was a third-tier true god. His attack was almost blocked by Lu Ming alone. Lu Ming was only at 7th-tier void god realm. I didn't expect such a powerful genius to appear in the Kong Xian sect after I was trapped for 100,000 years. However, your days are over today. Kong Ji's eyes were filled with killing intent and deep jealousy. Yes, it was jealousy. Lu Ming's combat strength and talent were obviously far above his. He wanted to kill him completely. Shua! He moved his body and was about to pounce on Lu Ming. Lu Ming and the other two gathered together, planning to fight with all their might. However, just as the empty star was about to approach them, runes suddenly appeared on the ground. These runes glowed with a resplendent light and filled the air with energy. It was extremely strange. At the same time, runes appeared on the empty star, exactly the same as the runes on the ground. These runes were like tentacles that tightly wrapped around the body of the empty star. The figure of the sky star that had pounced forward came to an abrupt stop, forcibly stopping in the air, unable to pounce forward in the slightest. He's been trapped by the formation. It's hard for him to leave the formation's range. Lu Ming's eyes lit up as he said to Wu Zifeng and Yu Linglong. Damn it, break! The empty star roared and exploded with all his strength. He wanted to break through the formation but it was useless. He couldn't break through the formation at all. It seems that you won't be able to come out. Lu Ming sneered and had a mocking look on his face. The few of you, hurry up and get over here. Help me break this damned formation. Otherwise, when I get out, it'll definitely tear you into 1,000 pieces. The empty star saw that he couldn't get out, so he started to roar and threaten them. You still want to come out? Now, you're like a fish on the chopping board, a live target. You're not begging us, but threatening us. You're really courting death. Lu Ming said coldly. I've heard that Kong Ji-Xing is a narrow-minded person who will take revenge. 100,000 years ago, he wasn't the first on the void god rank in the Kong Xian sect. It was someone else. He killed that person and became first. If we don't kill him today, he'll definitely take revenge on us when he comes out. Yu Linglong said coldly. Then get rid of him. Wu Zifeng also said. For someone like Kong Xing, since he had offended him, he had to get rid of him. Otherwise, there would be endless trouble. Attack! Lu Ming made his move immediately. He stood in the distance and shot out a spear ray at the sky star. At the same time, Yu Linglong and Wu Zifeng also made their moves. They used their killing moves to attack the star of sky. The empty star blocked the attacks from Lu Ming and the other two. You want to kill me with just you guys? Dream on. Kong Ji-Xing shouted coldly. His eyes were extremely ferocious and evil, as if he could not wait to cut Lu Ming and the rest into pieces. Lu Ming and the other two kept on attacking, but they were all blocked by the stars in the sky. Their cultivations were not as high as the empty star, and they were attacking from a distance, so their attack power was naturally reduced. Lu Ming frowned. In this case, it was indeed difficult for them to kill with the star of the sky. If he couldn't kill the star of S.P.C.E., he wouldn't be able to get the Dark Dragon Blood Jade and the Rainbow Godstone. There are a few death relics in this formation. Once you attack them, the formation's power will increase exponentially. Lu Ming, attack the death relics. At this moment, the voice of the battle symbol art was heard. He had finally found some of the array's eyes and immediately guided Lu Ming on how to attack. All right. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. He changed the momentum of his spear and the spear's gleam changed its direction. It did not attack the empty star but instead, it attacked an empty spot. Boom! When Lu Ming's spearlight hit the empty S.P.C.E., the runes of the formation suddenly shone brightly and its power increased greatly. At the same time, the runes that were wrapped around the empty star's body also increased in power. They were like steel cables, tightly tightening and trying to break the empty star's body into several pieces. Ah, what happened? Damn it, what have you done? The empty star suddenly screamed in fear. Then, his body trembled and he spat out a large mouthful of blood. Die! Lu Ming said coldly. He launched another attack at the death eye of the formation, making the formation even more powerful. The empty star couldn't take it anymore. Cracks appeared on its body, and it spat out a large mouthful of blood. It was heavily injured. Chapter 2711 Formation. Within a formation would usually have a gate of life or a gate of death. These gates of life and death could also be the formation eyes of life or death. Attacking the formation's eye of life could break the formation, but attacking the formation's eye of death could stimulate the formation's power and make it even more terrifying. Lu Ming was attacking the death array eye of this large array, making the power of the large array even more terrifying. The empty star could not withstand it at all and was severely injured in an instant. Save me, Kong Xing roared in fear, his eyes filled with unwillingness. Rest in peace. Lu Ming said coldly. He could not bear to do so. Since he had offended such a person, he had to get rid of him. Otherwise, he would only bring trouble to himself. Whoosh! Lu Ming continued to attack the eye of the death array. Ah! The empty star let out a desperate cry and roared, all of you will not die a good death, all of you will not die a good death. The next moment, the formation lit up. Under the power of the formation, the empty star's body exploded with a bang, and its physical body was shattered. Kong Ji-Xing, the heaven's favorite who was ranked first on the Void God ranking list of Kong Xian's sect 100,000 years ago, had died in this formation. This guy is finally dead. Yu Linglong heaved a long sigh of relief. The strength of the empty star was indeed powerful. If it wasn't for this formation, even if the three of them joined forces, they wouldn't be his match. After all, his cultivation was at the third stage of true God realm. Lu Ming, you can understand this array? Wu Zifeng looked at Lu Ming and asked. I know a thing or two. Lu Ming nodded and did not say much. He then scanned the ground. At the same time, the battle symbol art told him the location of the formation core of life. Breaking the formation eye of life can't completely destroy the formation. It will only suppress it for a short time. You only have 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, you must leave the range of the formation, or you will be trapped. The battle character said. 10 minutes, that's enough. Lu Ming muttered. Then, according to the instructions of the battle character formula, he started to attack the living array eye. Bang! 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 One attack after another landed on the ground, but there was a slight noise on the ground. Those attacks were like stones sinking into the ocean. However, the runes on the ground dimmed and then disappeared. The array has been suppressed. Let's take action quickly and take down all the rainbow divine stones in 10 minutes. Lu Ming shouted and rushed towards the altar. He grabbed the dark dragon blood jade with his palm. The purpose of his visit this time was the dark dragon blood jade. Bang! The dark dragon blood jade was firmly embedded in the altar. Lu Ming's grab did not pull it down, but it only made the altar shake. At the same time, Yu Linglong and Wu Zifeng also rushed over and grabbed a colorful divine stone each. However, they didn't grab it as it was firmly embedded. And this was only because the formation was being suppressed. If the formation wasn't suppressed, they would have been stopped by the formation and wouldn't be able to do anything to the dark dragon blood jade or the rainbow divine stone. If we can't take it down, why don't we just destroy this altar? Yu Linglong suggested. Good. Break it. Lu Ming nodded. They only had 10 minutes, so they had to end the battle quickly. The three of them took a few steps back and each unleashed their strongest power. 3 attacks blasted toward the altar. Boom. 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 The altar rumbled and shook violently. A crack appeared on it. It was effective. The three of them attacked with even more force. In less than 2 minutes, the entire altar exploded with a boom. Broken rocks flew everywhere. The dark dragon blood jade and the rainbow godstone on it flew out. Lu Ming's figure moved like an arrow that left the bow. He flew out and grabbed the dark dragon blood jade in his hand. At the same time, Yu Linglong and Wu Zifeng also made their moves and grabbed the colorful divine stones in their hands. Buzz! At this moment, the entire cave started to shake. Then, dense runes suddenly appeared on the ground and the walls of the cave. Then, a yellow liquid suddenly appeared on the ground. Chi-chi. When the yellow liquid touched the feet of the three, it made a sizzling sound and wisps of green smoke came out. The corrosiveness of this liquid was surprisingly strong. It should be known that the three of them were covered in divine power, but this liquid could even corrode divine power. If it had landed on his body would have been corroded. The three of them were shocked and immediately flew up. However, the yellow liquid under the ground was increasing in volume, as if it was constantly emerging from the ground. It's the divine transformation realm corpse water, a formation within a formation. There's actually a formation within a formation here. Can't you tell that it's a boring battle? In his sea of consciousness, the Quant 1 Thai formula shouted. I'm not a professional. The battle symbol art replied, and the measure symbol art trembled in anger. Let's go, well leave first. Lu Ming roared. There was more and more yellow liquid here, and once it filled the entire cave, they would be in danger. The three of them immediately rushed towards the entrance of the cave. However, when they approached the entrance, a light curtain spread out and blocked them. Clearly, this was also a part of the Great Formation. Break! Yu Linglong shouted and attacked continuously. However, the light screen did not move at all. Following that, Lu Ming and Wu Zifeng also launched their attacks, but the result was the same. They could not break it at all. Ha ha ha, you still want to leave? Let's die together and be buried with me. A shrill, maniacal laugh rang out. Star of space. The faces of Lu Ming and the other two changed. This voice was clearly from Empty Star. However, wasn't Empty Star already dead? At this moment, a bright light flashed where the altar had been, and a figure appeared. It was the Star of Space. However, the star in the sky wasn't a real ent. One, Tai, but a shadow. A remnant soul. Lu Ming's heart stirred. He understood now. The empty star had indeed fallen, but because he had been trapped in the formation for 100,000 years, he had already formed a connection with the formation. After being killed by the formation, a wisp of his soul had fused with the formation. You can't escape at all. Die, die, all of you will die here. Empty Star's eyes were filled with madness. He raised his hands, and the runes in the cave shone even brighter. The yellow liquid on the ground rose even faster, and soon, it was a meter deep. Lu Ming and the other two could only float in the air to avoid it. However, this was not the way to go. This is the Soul Formation Corpse water. Its corrosive power is extremely terrifying. With our cultivation, we can't resist it at all. What should we do? Yu Linglong's little face was a little pale. Continue to attack that light curtain. Lu Ming shouted and continued to bombard the light screen. Now, they could only get out by bombarding the light screen. Yu Linglong and Wu Zifeng also joined in the attack. Chapter 27:12 Gathering of the Virtual God Ranking, Boring Battle. Quickly find the array core, or else these kids are going to die here and well be buried here again. I've finally found a guy who's quite pleasing to the eye. I can't let him die like this. The Quant 1. Tai formula kept urging the battle formula. I'm looking for it. Cut the C, R, P, I can still find it faster. The battle symbol art said unhappily. The Quant 1. Tai formula immediately shut up. It's useless, it's useless. You can't get out. Stay here and be buried with me. Ha ha ha. Kong Zhixing laughed crazily as he tried his best to activate the formation. The formation gave off a bright light. At this moment, it wasn't just the inside of the cave. The outside of the cave also gave off a bright light. In fact, the moment Lu Ming and the rest destroyed the altar, there was a strange sound outside. A beam of light shot into the sky and pierced the sky. It could be seen from far away. At the same time, the illusion array that had stopped Lu Ming and the rest from entering had disappeared. The lake was gone and in its place was a tall mountain that rose into the clouds. At this moment, the entire mountain peak was shining. What's that? With such a shocking phenomenon, there must be a treasure. Let's go and take a look. Let's go and take a look. Everyone who saw the strange phenomenon rushed over. In the cave, Lu Ming and the other two were still bombarding the light curtain. However, it was almost useless. The light curtain did not move at all. The amount of divine transformation realm corpse water in the cave was increasing. It was almost half full. What do we do? Am I going to die here today? I don't want to be drowned by the soul formation corpse water. If I am drowned by the soul formation corpse water, I won't be able to find my body. Yu Linglong was on the verge of tears. The thought of being drowned by the soul formation corpse water without a corpse left almost scared her to death. Don't attack yet, save your strength. Lu Ming said. Since he couldn't blast it open, then he wouldn't attack. He would wait for the battle character formula to find the formation's eye, then concentrate all his strength and attack the formation's eye. Die, die. Seeing that Lu Ming and the rest could not blast it open, the empty star screamed even more crazily. The divine transformation realm corpse water in the cave quickly filled up 2/3 of the cave. The space that Lu Ming and the other two could move around in became smaller and smaller. I found it. Lu Ming, attack 3 feet to the left, quick. At this moment, the voice of the battle formula rang in Lu Ming's sea of consciousness. Attack! Lu Ming's eyes lit up and he shouted, attack 3 feet to the left. Boom! At this moment, Lu Ming used all his strength and triggered the tripled combat power of the battle character formula. He circulated his divine energy to the extreme and then cast the first move of the 3 apocalyptic strikes, sky-piercing. A dazzling spear radiance was blasted 3 feet to the left of the light curtain. Yu Linglong and Wu Zifeng did not doubt him and also attacked with full force. Boom! 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 3 consecutive powerful attacks. Hit the light curtain 3 feet to the left. The light curtain shook violently, and this time, a crack appeared on the light curtain. It's effective, it's effective. Continue. Yu Linglong was very excited. The 3 of them used their strongest attacks, and more cracks appeared on the light barrier. No, no, impossible, no, Kong Xing roared madly, his face twisted. Now, he was only left with a wisp of his soul. It would not be long before this wisp of soul would disappear completely. He was unwilling to give up. He wanted to drag Lu Ming and the other 2 to die with him. However, Lu Ming and the other 2 seemed to be on the verge of escaping. Lu Ming and the other 2 could not be bothered with the stars in the sky and continued to attack. After a few more moves, the light screen exploded with a bang. Let's go. As soon as the light screen shattered, Lu Ming and the other 2 did not stop and rushed out of the palace sage. Damn it, damn it! The empty star roared. The divine transformation realm corpse water rolled and splashed onto the walls of the cave. The walls were corroded and turned into dust. Boom! 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 The entire mountain peak shook violently and was about to collapse at any moment. Lu Ming and the other 2 used their full strength and quickly said through the palace sage and rushed out. As soon as they rushed out, the 3 of them frowned and stopped. This was because there were many people floating in the air outside, blocking the way. It's him. It's Lu Ming. Someone shouted as he recognized Lu Ming. These people had been attracted by the strange phenomenon here. They did not expect to see Lu Ming and the other 2 running out of the mountain the moment they arrived. Lu Ming, what did you get in there? Take it out and let's see. A golden-robed young man stepped out, his eyes glimmering as he stared at Lu Ming and the other 2. Yingtsang. Lu Ming's eyes turned cold. Yingtsang was from the Tianhong Saint Sun's sect. Back then, he had even asked someone to invite Lu Ming to join the Tianhong sect, but Lu Ming had rejected him. At that time, Lu Ming did not know Yingtsang's ident. Tai. He only found out later that Yingtsang was ranked 4th on the virtual god ranking and was also the top expert in the outer sect of the Tianhong Saint Sun's sect. Yingtsang, are you thinking too much? What did I get? Why do I have to take it out to see? Lu Ming sneered, not giving Yingtsang any face. With Lu Ming's current cultivation, he was not afraid of anyone in the outer sect. However, the others did not know Lu Ming's combat strength. They were all shocked. This Lu Ming is really bold. He actually dares to talk to Yingtsang like this. Overestimating your own ability, you're just looking for death. Some people sneered in disdain. As expected, Yingtsang's eyes darkened. Back then, when Lu Ming had rejected his invitation to join the Tianhong Saint Sun's sect, he had wanted to kill Lu Ming. He had ordered the people of the Tianhong sect to kill Lu Ming if they had the chance to. However, when he went to the forest of plants for training, the people from the Tianhong sect did attack Lu Ming. However, they all died in Lu Ming's hands. This made Yingtsang furious. He had been looking for an opportunity to kill Lu Ming personally. Now, he finally had the chance. You've just joined the sect, yet you don't know how to respect your senior brother. You're too arrogant. Today, I'll teach you a lesson on behalf of the sect. Yingtsang said coldly. He stepped forward, and a powerful aura burst out, pressing toward Lu Ming. First stage True God Realm. Without a doubt, after Sung entered the Dark Dragon's secret land, his cultivation had also broken through, reaching the first stage of True God Realm. With his fighting power, breaking through to the first stage of True God Realm was a little stronger than Mad Dao. However, Lu Ming did not care about the other party at all. Just as Lu Ming was about to take action, beams of light flew over from the distance. More people had arrived. A few of them were extremely fast and gave off a shocking aura. In the blink of an eye, they had arrived. The front section was filled with young people, both men and women. Each and every one of them had an extraordinary bearing, and they were all dragons and phoenixes among men. It's the Fengyuan Dao, the second-ranked virtual god ranking list's Fengyuan Dao. There's also the madman who's ranked third on the virtual god ranking list. Li Kunshan, seventh on the virtual god ranking. In the surroundings, many people cried out in surprise and widened their eyes. This was because the people who had just arrived were too powerful. They were all in the top 10 of the virtual god ranking in the outer sect of the Kong Xian sect. Any one of these people could easily dominate the outer sect, but now, they came one after another. Chapter 2713 Forced when he saw Fengyuan Dao, Madman, Li Kunshan, and the others, Sung's expression turned grave. He stopped and no longer pressed toward Lu Ming. Sung, you're early. What's up? Did you find anything? Fengyuan Dao's gaze looked towards Sung, and a strange light flickered in his eyes. It was obvious that Fengyuan Dao suspected that Sung had obtained something. Sung's expression changed. He forced out a smile and said, Brother Feng must be joking, how could I have gained anything? I also just arrived, but these few people just came out of the mountain, I'm interrogating them. Facing Fengyuan Dao, Sung didn't dare to offend him. This was because the other party's background was not inferior to his at all. At the same time, his combat strength was above his. He had fought with Fengyuan Dao a few times in the past and lost miserably every time. When he was at the 9th level of the Void God Realm, Sung only had the experience of defeating a true God Realm expert. However, Fengyuan Dao had the battle record of killing a true God Realm expert. Defeating and killing were two completely different things. Oh. When Fengyuan Dao heard this, he turned to look at Lu Ming, Yu Linglong, and Wu Zifeng. When he saw Yu Linglong and Wu Zifeng, his eyes narrowed slightly. Because Yu Linglong and Wu Zifeng's cultivation base were also at the first stage of True God Realm, it was obvious that Wu Zifeng and Yu Linglong were the same as them, breaking through after entering the Dark Dragon's secret realm. To be able to do this, they were definitely experts among experts. On the other hand, Lu Ming, a virtual god level, was directly ignored by him. How may I address the two of you? Fengyuan Dao cupped his fists at Yu Linglong and Wu Zifeng. Yu Linglong. Wu Zifeng. Yu Linglong and Wu Zifeng answered. Fengyuan Dao, Madman, Li Kunshan, Sung, and the others all frowned, because they had never heard of these two names in the outer sect. Guys, what did you get inside? Fengyuan Dao narrowed his eyes and asked. What did we get? This has nothing to do with you. Yu Linglong said. What do you mean by unrelated? Don't you know that everyone who sees it has a share? Sung berated, causing Yu Linglong to frown. Boom. 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 At this moment, the mountain suddenly exploded with a loud boom. The mountain peak exploded, and gravel flew everywhere. There was also Divine Transformation Realm Corpse water. Not good, quickly dodge. Lu Ming shouted. Together with Yu Linglong and Wu Zifeng, they dodged the splashing Divine Transformation Realm Corpse water. Ah! Ah! However, there were still people who were splashed by the Soul Formation Corpse water. Their bodies were corroded, and they let out shrill screams. However, after a few moments, the screams stopped abruptly because their entire bodies had been corroded to the point that not even a residue was left. The others were shocked and tried to dodge. After everything had calmed down, everyone stopped with lingering fear. However, at least 5 or 6 outer sect disciples had died under the Soul Formation Corpse water just now. You guys are so vicious. You knew that there was danger inside, but you didn't warn us. Are you trying to trick us? Ing Sung stared at Lu Ming and the other two coldly, directly pinning a huge hat on them. Trap you? You're thinking too much. Ling Long, Brother Wu, let's go. Lu Ming could not be bothered with Ing Sung and the rest. He flew forward, wanting to leave. You want to leave? Hand over what you've obtained before you leave. Ing Sung shouted coldly. He stretched out his large hand and grabbed at Lu Ming. His palm emitted a dazzling golden radiance as if it was cast from gold. Get lost. It was not Lu Ming but Yu Linglong. A soft whip appeared in her hand. Like a venomous snake, the soft whip rolled toward Ing Sung. Bang! The two of them exchanged a blow and a loud boom was heard. Yu Linglong was forced to take 3 steps back, but Ing Sung was forced to take 5 steps back, more than Yu Linglong. What? The others were shocked and looked at Yu Linglong in shock. Yu Linglong actually had such a strong combat strength. Not only could she block Ing Sung's attack, but Ing Sung also retreated more than her. Where did this heaven's favor come from? On the side, Feng Yuan Dao, Madman, Li Kunshan, and a few others all had grave expressions. Ing Sung also looked at Yu Linglong in shock. After the exchange of blows just now, he was well aware of how amazing Yu Linglong's strength was. Even if he were to use his full strength, he might not be Yu Linglong's opponent. I'm afraid it won't be easy for you to leave alone. Ing Sung's gaze turned to Feng Yuan Dao's group, wanting to drag them into the water. Is that so? At that moment, Wu Zifeng spoke and stepped forward, a shocking aura erupting from his body. Wu Zifeng's aura was so strong that it was even slightly above Yu Linglong's, which made the others even more shocked. It's really lively today. At this moment, a cold voice sounded in the sky. Following which, a young man appeared in the air and stood above everyone. This was a young man from the winged man race. He had a pair of purple wings and was tall and straight. His aura was powerful and carried a sense of pride. It's winged demons, winged demons. Many people cried out in alarm. Even Feng Yuan Dao, Madman, Ing Sung, and the others' expressions changed drastically. There was no other reason. The winged demon's reputation was too great in the outer sect of the Kong Xian sect, and it was above everyone else. The first on the virtual god ranking list, winged demon. This guy is also here. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. Of course, he had heard of the first place on the virtual god leaderboard. Whoosh! Whoosh! At this moment, in the distance, there were more and more people flying over. In just a short while, there were already hundreds of people gathered. It's W.A.N.G. Gao. There's also an open gift. Some people kept exclaiming because there were too many experts here. Some of them were also in the top 10 of the virtual god ranking list. To everyone's shock, 9 out of the top 10 virtual god ranking list had come. Other than Kuang Dao, almost everyone else was here. When these people found out that Lu Ming, Yu Linglong, and Wu Zifeng had just come out of the mountain, all of them cast their gazes on the 3. They even moved their bodies slightly and surrounded Lu Ming and the other 2 in the middle, preventing them from escaping. Yes, we can't let them escape. We can't let them escape. At this moment, a sharp sound was heard. The sound came from the mountain that had just exploded. Everyone could not help but look in that direction. There were still rays of light shining from the shattered mountain. Then, a human figure appeared. It was the remnant soul of the empty star. Who is this? Many people didn't recognize the star of space and were a little surprised. You're a star of space. On the other hand, the winged demon roared in shock when it saw the sky star. It couldn't hide the shock on its face. The winged demon had seen the space star before. 100,000 years ago, when the space star was still here, it was the number 1 on the virtual god rank. If the space star hadn't disappeared, the winged demon might not have been able to get the number 1 position. What? The star of the sky. The number 1 on the virtual god ranking list 100,000 years ago. After hearing the winged demon's roar, many people remembered it. It can't be. It's really him. Didn't they say that he was dead? He actually didn't die. Many people exclaimed in shock. Chapter 2714 Empty Stars Scheme, Star of Space. Feng Yuan Dao, Madman, Li Kunchen, Ying Tsang, and the others all looked at the empty star in shock. They had never imagined that they would meet this legendary figure here. Winged Demon, we meet again. It seems that you've made a great progress. Kong Zhixing said as he glanced at the winged howler. Then, he turned to Lu Ming and the other two, his expression ferocious. You can't let them go. They've obtained a supreme treasure. What? A supreme treasure? Many people were shocked. They looked at Lu Ming and the other two with burning eyes. Do you know why I disappeared for 100,000 years? It was because I wanted to get the treasure here. Unfortunately, I was trapped by the formation by accident and failed at the last step. I didn't expect that he would get it. Kong Zhixing sighed and pointed at Lu Ming. As he said this, his body started to twist. He hated Lu Ming the most. It was Lu Ming who had seen through his scheme and used the death eye of the formation to harm him to this state. It was all Lu Ming's fault. He wanted Lu Ming to end up in an extremely miserable state. His remnant soul could not hold on for long and was about to dissipate. At the thought of him dissipating, his hatred for Lu Ming and the rest intensified. That's a supreme treasure. Once you obtain it, you'll definitely soar into the sky. It's just a matter of time before you dominate the Qin Heaven Galaxy. It'll depend on which one of you is fated to obtain it, ha ha ha. With that, the empty star's body exploded with a bang and turned into dust, completely disappearing. However, his words ignited the fire in everyone's heart. It was the fire of desire. No one would doubt the words of the empty star. The empty star had stayed here for 100,000 years for that treasure. If the treasure wasn't precious, why would he have stayed here for 100,000 years? What could be the treasure that made the empty star so crazy? Boom! 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 At this moment, everyone burst out with a shocking aura. With the winged demon, Feng Yuan Dao, and the others in the lead, they pressed toward Lu Ming and the other two. Especially Lu Ming. It was because the empty star had made it very clear that the treasure was in Lu Ming's hands. Lu Ming, hand over the treasure. Ying Tsang could not help but make the first move. His entire body was covered in golden light as he pounced toward Lu Ming. Ying Tsang, I'm your opponent. Yu Linglong waved her soft whip, which turned into thousands of whip shadows and swept toward Ying Tsang. Bang! Bang! The two of them exchanged dozens of blows in an instant. The result was that Ying Tsang retreated thousands of meters, his hands trembling slightly. He was not Yu Linglong's match. Hand over the treasure. No one can protect you today. The winged howler said coldly. It looked down from above and stomped toward Lu Ming. Boom! At the last step, a shocking power burst out from his feet. His divine power was like a stormy sea that pressed down on Lu Ming. They were both at the first stage of true god realm, but the winged demon's strength was indeed incomparably shocking. Just this move alone was a whole lot stronger than Mad Daos. Kong Xian sects number 1 on the virtual god ranking list. I'd like to experience it. Wu Zifeng's eyes burst with a brilliant light. His body rushed up and his fingers pointed out like a sword. Chi Chi. The sword Chi collided with the winged demon's attack, causing a shocking boom. The two of them retreated slightly. What? He's that strong. Everyone looked at Wu Zifeng in shock. Wu Zifeng was actually able to fight the winged demon. Where did this heaven's favor come from? You're not from the Kong Xian sect. The winged demon looked at Wu Zifeng with a grave expression. Naturally not, said Wu Zifeng. His fighting spirit grew stronger, and his divine power was like an avalanche. And NBSP, Sacred Grade Divine Power. This person is the same as the winged demon. The divine power he controls is sacred grade divine power. This person isn't from the Kongxian sect, but he's able to enter the Dark Dragon secret realm. What force is he from? Many people were guessing. Today, you want to protect the treasure with just the two of you? You're too naive. The winged demon said coldly, then glanced at the Fengyuan sect. Fengyuan Dao, Madman, Li Kunshan, and the others could not hold it in any longer. They all rushed toward Lu Ming. Kid, hand over the treasure and I'll spare your life. Li Kunshan roared and attacked first. The divine weapon he used was a warhammer. As he struck, the void exploded continuously with astonishing power. The giant hammer crushed toward Lu Ming as if he would be crushed into a pulp of flesh in the next moment. However, Lu Ming's expression was calm. He took a step forward and threw a punch without even holding a weapon. He wanted to use his fist to block Li Kunshan's giant hammer. This kid is looking for death. Some people shook their heads. As soon as Lu Ming made his move, they could tell that his cultivation was only at the 7th tier of the Void God realm. It was already good enough for a 7th tier Void God to enter the Dark Dragon secret realm. He actually dared to take Li Kunshan's giant hammer head-on. If he was not courting death, what was? However, Yu Linglong and Wu Zifeng were calm. They knew how terrifying Lu Ming's combat strength was. Thump! Lu Ming's fist accurately collided with Li Kunshan's giant hammer. It was as if two stars had collided, and a shocking boom erupted. However, the result left everyone dumbfounded. After the collision, Li Kunshan was the one who retreated. Lu Ming's body only swayed slightly. How is that possible? At this moment, the pupils of the winged demon, Fengyuan Dao, Yingcang, and the others contracted as they revealed disbelieving expressions. Lu Ming had actually managed to catch Li Kunshan's attack with his bare hands. Even the winged demon could not do that. Lu Ming was only at 7th level Void God level, but he had such strong combat strength. Li Kunshan himself was also stunned. I don't believe it, godly storm hammer. Li Kunshan roared and swung his giant hammer, attacking Lu Ming like a storm. A divine artifact appeared in Lu Ming's palm. It was a level 1 middle grade divine artifact. Buzz! Lu Ming's spear swept out. The long spear carried a terrifying power as it blasted towards Li Kunshan. Boom! The two of them collided for the second time, but this time, Li Kunshan let out a fled groan. His body was pushed back, and he spat out a mouthful of blood. Everyone was stunned, thinking that they were dreaming. Lu Ming was actually suppressing Li Kunshan. They collided head-on and Li Kunshan vomited blood. Li Kunshan was ranked 7th on the virtual god ranking list. His combat strength far surpassed other powerhouses of the same level. Moreover, his cultivation had already broken through to the 1st tier true god realm. With such combat strength, he was not Lu Ming's match. What kind of monster was this? At this moment, the winged demon, Fengyuan Dao and the others looked extremely solemn. I'm telling you, I did get a treasure, but it's not that precious. But I know that you won't believe me no matter what I say now. Since you want the treasure, I'll fight with you today. Lu Ming held the long spear and looked around. Miss Linglong, Brother Wu, you can leave now. If they want to fight, I alone am enough. Chapter 2715 1 against 9 I alone am enough. Lu Ming's words exploded in many people's hearts. They were so shocked that they were stunned. Lu Ming's words clearly meant that he wanted to challenge all the experts present with his own strength. Heavens! Many people were roaring in their hearts. If this news were to spread, it would shake the entire outer sect. Yu Linglong and Wu Zifeng's eyes flickered, but they did not object. Their figures flashed and they retreated to the side. Everyone, this brat is too arrogant. In that case, let's teach him a lesson, shall we? Yingcang's eyes turned. To be honest, from the combat strength that Lu Ming had displayed earlier, he was not confident that he could fight Lu Ming alone. Since Lu Ming was arrogant, he had a reason to team up with the others. That's right. This brat has taken the treasure and wants to keep it for himself. There's no need to talk about rules today. Let's suppress him together and force him to hand over the treasure. Feng Yuan Dao also spoke coldly. The mad scientist, Li Kunchen, and the rest all stepped forward and surrounded Lu Ming. In the end, even the winged howler did the same. It flapped its pair of purple wings and its body was covered in purple radiance. It looked extremely majestic as it appeared in front of Lu Ming. They were surrounded. There were a total of 9 people who surrounded Lu Ming. These 9 people were the top 10 on the virtual god ranking list. Except for Kuang Dao, all of them had attacked. The others could only retreat. Even if they wanted to interfere, they couldn't because Feng Yuan Dao and the others were all at the true god realm. The top 10 existences on the virtual god ranking list had all entered the true god level. The 9 powerhouses surrounded Lu Ming, who was only at the 7th level of the void god realm. Such a thing had never happened before in the history of Kong Xian sect. I have to say that Lu Ming is indeed a peerless genius. He's able to suppress Li Kunchen with his 7th tier void god realm cultivation. His combat strength is terrifying. However, he's still too arrogant. He actually wants to challenge 9 experts at the same time. He doesn't stand a chance at all. Even the divine sons of the 3 overlord forces would be crushed under such circumstances. The difference in cultivation is too great. He's fighting 9 people at once. He doesn't stand a chance. Not bad, you're overconfident. Many people were discussing. Lu Ming, hand over the treasure and it'll spare your life. The winged howler said coldly. If word got out that so many people were attacking him at the same time, it would be detrimental to his reputation. If he could make Lu Ming hand over the treasure, he would not attack. However, Lu Ming obviously would not agree to it. Make your move. If you can defeat me, I can give you all the treasures I have. However, since you have made your move, you must pay the price. Lu Ming said coldly. The price? Ridiculous, you? Kneel down. Ying Tsang made the first move. His entire person looked like a golden man. With a move, he appeared in front of Lu Ming and pressed his palm down on him. A golden palm print pressed down on Lu Ming with shocking power. He was ranked 4th on the virtual god ranking list and was even stronger than Kuang Dao. Buzz! The long spear in Lu Ming's hands trembled slightly due to the crazy influx of divine energy. Then, he thrust the long spear at Ying Tsang. Pfft! Ying Tsang's golden palm print crumbled, and the sharp spear light continued to stab toward Ying Tsang. Ying Tsang's expression changed drastically and he retreated hurriedly. However, he was still a step too late. His palm was pierced by Lu Ming's spear radiance and exploded. Ah! Attack, attack together! Ying Tsang screamed. He circulated his god body to recover his broken palm. Attack! Feng Yuan Dao and the rest attacked at the same time. All sorts of shocking attacks were launched at Lu Ming. Only the winged demon's eyes flickered. He hesitated for a moment and did not make a move. With so many people attacking at the same time, the power was extremely terrifying. Lu Ming did not dare to be careless. In an instant, Lu Ming triggered the double combat power of the battle character formula. Almost at the same time, he successfully triggered the triple combat power. Before he made his move, Lu Ming had already triggered the tripled combat power. Therefore, the moment he made his move, the tripled combat power was successfully triggered. Whoosh! 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 Lu Ming's long spear burst out and shot out more than 10 spear gleams in succession, clashing with the attacks of Feng Yuan Dao and the rest. A series of explosions rang out between heaven and earth. Lu Ming was forced to retreat by this force. However, he had successfully blocked all the attacks. Block. He blocked it. Oh my god. When the others saw this scene, they were almost scared to death. Their eyes almost popped out. Lu Ming had actually blocked the attacks of Feng Yuan Dao and the rest head-on. What kind of combat strength was this? Even the Feng Yuan sect themselves were shocked beyond words. Your combat strength is only so-so. Now, it's my turn. Lu Ming's indifferent voice was heard. A red gold armor appeared on his body. Kneel down. Lu Ming cast the 9-stage crimson gold armor to protect himself. He ignored the attacks of the others and rushed toward Ying Tsang. Ying Tsang was the most arrogant. Lu Ming had to get rid of this person first. Boom! Lu Ming's spear swept out. The spear's gleam was like a mountain, causing the air to explode continuously. Ying Tsang's expression changed drastically. Attack, attack together, die. Ying Tsang roared and then retreated frantically. He kept striking out with his hands. In an instant, hundreds of golden palm prints were blasted out. However, these palm prints crumbled under the pressure of Lu Ming's spear radiance. Attack! Feng Yuan Dao and the rest launched their second round of attacks. However, this time, Lu Ming did not dodge or evade. He intended to take the attack head-on. Boom! Boom! The attacks from Feng Yuan Dao and the rest landed on the scarlet gold armor, causing it to shake violently as if it was about to collapse at any moment. However, in the end, it was blocked by Lu Ming. Lu Ming's long spear had already hit Ying Tsang. Bang! Ying Tsang let out a blood-curdling screech, and his entire body flew down diagonally. Then, he crashed heavily into the ground, creating a huge pit. Continue to attack. He can't hold on any longer. Feng Yuan Dao bellowed and launched another attack. The attacks continued to blast toward Lu Ming. Come on. There was a crazed look in Lu Ming's eyes. He continued to block with the scarlet gold armor. He wanted to use his opponent to temper his scarlet gold armor. Only then would he be able to improve quickly. Boom! 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 The continuous attacks landed on the scarlet gold armor, and a few cracks appeared on it. Lu Ming's body was also sent flying in the direction where Ying Tsang was sent flying. At this moment, Ying Tsang was lying on the ground and vomiting blood. He was almost scared to death when he saw Lu Ming flying over. Boom! Lu Ming's spear swept down, looking down from above and crushing down. The ground trembled, and a 100-mile-long spear mark appeared. It looked like a valley, and Ying Tsang was lying inside. All the bones in his body were almost broken, and he couldn't move at all. Although he did not die, he had lost the ability to fight. At the start of the battle, Lu Ming had already crippled one of them. This left many outer sect disciples dumbfounded. Chapter 2718 Extreme Cold Divine Technique. After leaving the Dark Dragon's secret realm, Lu Ming bade Yu Linglong and Wu Zifeng farewell. Yu Linglong and Wu Zifeng headed to the mission hall, ready to exchange the Dark Dragon Beast Core and Dragon Bone Flower for points. Of course, Wu Zifeng was not a member of the Kong Xian sect, so he naturally could not exchange for points. He gave the Beast Core and Dragon Bone Flower to Yu Linglong and let her exchange for points. Lu Ming did not head straight to the missions hall, mainly because he had to sort out the storage rings he had obtained from the Winged Demon and the rest. However, Lu Ming did not return to the outer sect. Now that he had caused such a big commotion, if he returned to the outer sect, it would definitely alert the outer sect. By then, it would be troublesome. Lu Ming found a random spot in the inner sect area, took out his storage ring, and started tapping lightly. There were mountains of divine crystals, blacksmithing materials, and low-grade divine artifacts of various levels. Qiu, here you go. Now, Lu Ming was rich and generous. He immediately took out a few level 9 low-grade divine artifacts for Qiu to eat. Previously, Qiu had been in the form of a bracelet and was wearing it on Lu Ming's wrist. At this moment, it had turned into a round ball. It picked up a few divine artifacts and gobbled them up. All these years, Lu Ming had not stopped feeding Qiu. Qiu's abilities had been improving. Now, It had already reached 8th level virtual god level and was very powerful. It was strong enough to fight against the top-ranked existences on the virtual god ranking. Qiu was eating at the side while Lu Ming began to count the dark dragon beast core and dragon bone flower. The 9 storage rings, in addition to Kuang Daos, could be said that the storage rings of the top 10 geniuses on the virtual god ranking list were all in Lu Ming's hands. These people were all powerful and had great gains. The dark dragon beast cores and dragon bone flowers from the 10 of them added up to more than 3,000 points. If they were to be exchanged for points, that would be 300,000 points. On top of that, Lu Ming's own nether dragon beast core and dragon bone flower could be exchanged for about 60,000 points. A huge harvest. This was a truly huge harvest. No wonder they were ranked in the top 10 of the virtual god ranking list. The 10 of them together had such a great harvest. Lu Ming and the rest were able to hunt a large number of nether dragon beasts and dragon bone flowers because the nether dragon blood curse in Lu Ming's body would attract the nether dragon beasts and the dragon bone flower. As for the others, they had to rely on themselves to find it, so it was much more difficult. It was already very good that the winged devil and the others had contributed so much. Saint grade divine art and secret skill, here I come. Lu Ming laughed heartily in his heart. He then put Qiu away and headed to the Hall of Missions. When the people from the Hall of Missions saw Lu Ming taking out so many dark dragon beast cores and dragon bones, they were so shocked that they almost fell over. In a state of extreme shock, they exchanged points for Lu Ming. 360,000 points. Lu Ming had exchanged a total of 360,000 points. He left the missions hall in satisfaction and headed to the sutra library. The old men who were guarding the scripture chamber were still the same old men. Senior, I would like to exchange for a divine grade technique. Is that all right? Lu Ming cupped his fists and said to an elder. You want to exchange for a divine grade technique? The old man looked at Lu Ming in surprise. Not bad. Lu Ming nodded. Exchange? You can exchange for it, but you can only exchange for the first few levels at most. It's not very useful, and the price is very high. Do you really want to exchange? The old man asked again. It was rare for people to come to the sacred storage pavilion to exchange for divine grade techniques. This was because divine grade techniques could only be exchanged for the first few levels. They were not very useful, but the price was shockingly high. Almost no one would come to exchange. Senior, I want to exchange for the first level, mainly because I want to study it. Please allow me to do so. Lu Ming said sincerely. According to the rules, you can exchange for it. Since you insist on exchanging, I won't stop you. Here are the introductions of several divine grade divine skills and techniques. Take a look for yourself. The old man gave Lu Ming a jade talisman. Lu Ming took it and read it carefully. Inside were simple introductions of several saint-grade divine arts and techniques, all of which were astonishingly powerful and had their own merits. Senior, I'll choose the first stage of the ultimate cold divine technique. Lu Ming said after returning the jade talisman to the old man. He had his eyes on a divine technique called the divine technique of extreme cold. If the ultimate frost divine technique was cultivated to its peak, one could cultivate divine power. The ultimate frost divine power was extremely powerful and could freeze everything. The reason why Lu Ming chose the ultimate frost divine technique was that he had previously cultivated a king-grade divine technique, the divine frost technique. With the frost divine technique as a foundation, the speed of cultivating the ultimate frost divine technique would definitely be faster. Okay, give me your ident. 1. Tai token. It costs 50,000 points to exchange for the first level of the extreme cold divine technique. The old man said. Lu Ming said the ident. 1. Tai token to the elder. The elder swiped it on an array disc and Lu Ming lost 50,000 points. The price was astonishingly high. If not for Lu Ming, the others would not have exchanged for it. However, Lu Ming did not feel the slightest bit of reluctance. One must know that obtaining the first level was equivalent to obtaining the entire ultimate cold divine technique. This is the first stage of the extreme cold divine technique, take it. Then, the old man took out a scroll from his storage ring and handed it to Lu Ming. Many thanks, Senior. Lu Ming received it happily and kept it in his storage ring. Then, Lu Ming walked into the scriptures depository and looked around. The first thing he wanted to do was to exchange for a divine skill and a secret skill. Now that he had the quant. 1 Tai formula, he could store Shin power in it. In the future, he could use his Shin skills to his heart's content, so he naturally had to cultivate another Shin skill. He wanted to find a speed-type divine skill to cultivate. At his cultivation level, the incomplete ROC wings technique that he had cultivated previously was no longer of much use. Other people had cultivated complete speed-type divine skills, and his speed could no longer keep up with others. Lu Ming looked around and soon, he arrived at the 4th level. There were all 7 or 8 levels of divine skills here. 9 Heavenly Kuan Peng Technique. Suddenly, Lu Ming saw a speed-type divine skill called the 9 Heavenly Kuan Peng Technique. His eyes lit up immediately. The 9 Heavenly Kuan Peng Technique was a 7-layered speed-type divine skill. It imitated the 9 Heavenly Kuan Peng, and once executed, one's speed would be as fast as the Kuan Peng. The Kuan Peng was not an ordinary ROC. Even in the primeval universe, the Kuan Peng was an extremely terrifying existence. It was said that a newborn Kuan Peng could travel freely in the universe and travel between different galaxies and star areas at an unimaginable speed. This 9 Heavenly Kuan Peng technique wasn't the complete version. It seemed to be an incomplete scroll, with only the first 7 stages. There seemed to be more after that, but they had already been lost. The exchange price was 30,000 points. I'll take this. Lu Ming decided to exchange for the 9 Heavenly Kuan Peng technique. Now that he had a speed-type divine skill, the next step would be the secret skill. Lu Ming arrived at the 5th level.